You can support this show at patreon.com/ASPodcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out, about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 128th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined this evening by a few of my favorite Fallout faces. Jess. Hi, Jess.
Hello, Andrew.
And Pat returning. Hello, Pat.
Hello, mole man out there. How we doing tonight?
Wonderful. And Ray. Hi, Ray.
Evening, Andrew.
Broadcasting from my living room, everyone. And Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing tonight?
Hi.
Wonderful to have everyone here. And as I mentioned, Ray is actually in Indiana. Yay! Hi, Ray. How was your trip into Indiana today?
It was great. Except for the trailer accident that had the freeway shut down for a while. It was a nice, smooth ride over from lovely Champaign, Illinois.
Were there any horses in the trailer or anything like that?
I couldn't tell. By the time I got there, it was just the tongue that was left. So,
my favorite Indiana traffic jam roadblock animal on the road story. Elephants, everyone. Elephants on Highway 70 westbound.
How?
Some sort of circus trailer, I think, got rear-ended and one of the latches bumped up and elephants got out of their trailer and shut down the interstate for a few hours. It was pretty awesome. That's a good traffic jam story. So, welcome to Indiana, Ray. You'd been out on the road a long time. So I was, not like freaking out or anything, but like I know that you are a food guy, so like I've just been brainstorming and polling people at work and just asking everyone, like, what do you do when you come to when people from out of town come to Indiana? What do you do with them? Where do you take them? What restaurants do you go to? What attractions do you go to in Indianapolis? And we just decided to stay home. That was our best option.
Yeah, Mo is the best attraction of all. So
there you go.
Hey, he was stuck on you like glue today, man. He's a big fan of Ray, or Mary, as he kept calling you for some reason.
He kept calling me Mary.
He kept calling you Mary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll from now on.
He just could not understand.
No, we had an awesome day, so it was great.
Mo just couldn't
by the way,
understand.
Probably one of the best meals I've had on the entire trip. The Italian beef was fabulous.
Okay, so
yeah,
what
my
did
wife.
you have?
So Tori made
my wife.
Go for it, Andrew.
No, I was just saying my wife threw a crock pot meal together. We were thinking about all the different restaurants we could take people to. It's like, oh gosh, we could take them over to that awesome French restaurant. And Ray was mentioning that they've been on the road for a long time, so they're just like, we've had restaurant meals. We've had one home cooked meal in the last month, basically. So Tori decided to throw together a crock pot meal, and then one of my favorite things that she does is it's just Italian beef. We call it. It's just basically like pepperoncinis, onions, and tomatoes on top of some sort of roast, and you just let it cook down all day, and then the meat just falls apart, and you can put it on some crusty rolls with some provolone cheese, and I'm sure people in Italy would roll their eyes super hard, but we call that an Italian beef sandwich here. Love it.
Sounds awesome.
It was.
You gotta sear the meat before you crock pot it. That's pretty much a general rule for most good crock potted meats, though. I find is you gotta sear it first before you cook it down. Otherwise, you gotta lock in that little flavor. And I like the crunchy edges a little bit after they've been stewing a while too. So yeah, but we just thought that'd be nice. Really simple food, homemade, nothing too fancy. That's the best stuff usually, though, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So it's
And
hard
Sarah-
to believe that the trip's starting to wind down, getting close to the end.
Yeah, you're turning the last leg. You're heading
Next
south
week,
here
I'll-
tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. Next podcast I'll be doing from the home studio. So
Wonderful. Is that Shalene already?
Yes, that's
What's that?
next week. Yep.
yeah,
Shalene
not the
next week. That'll
special
be good.
episode, but yeah, the one after that. So
Oh yeah, on Saturday. You'll be in Tennessee or something still, probably.
I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville. Wonderful. And tomorrow, I'm sending him to beautiful Brown County, Indiana. It's where, in the fall, that's where, like, it's the Vermont of the Midwest. That's where everyone flocks to see the rolling hills and the beautiful foliage in autumn. But it's still, yeah, we talked about it last week. Still got sort of like an artist sort of community, Asheville, North Carolina type feel to it. So I thought it'd be fun to send them there. And then some weird architecture for some reason in a little town called Columbus, Indiana. And like I mentioned, everyone's favorite Vice President Mike Pence hometown. So have fun checking that out. Right? see if you can find Mike Pence.
I think we may be napping then.
Great. All right, on the show tonight, everybody, we might get into a little bit of regional food discussion. If Ray has anything from his last leg of the trip, he's been, gosh, I want you to tell your Rushmore story at some point during the show too. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so we'll get into some of Ray's adventure stories here. Also, Will sent in some feedback on Project Paradise, the new, I don't even know, dungeon event. Is it event or a quest? I think it's an event or something.
Both. It's all the above. It's a dungeon.
All
It's a quest. It's a dessert topping. It's a 4-wax.
Ooh.
Mm.
I haven't tried that application
Okay.
yet, but I'll give it a go.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh? So we'll get into Project Paradise. Will has sent in a feedback, and then he sent in another feedback about it, so he must have made some sort of discovery about it. We'll also get into some Fallout Terminal Velocity with Freighter. He is sneaking into the Institute and reading people's personal entries, I think. Also, hopefully we'll get into the newlywed game between me and Ray to see who knows whose play style better just by podcasting with each other the last couple of years. We'll see if we can suss out what the other person will answer and how they play the game. And also, Eddie sent in some feedback. There's evidently some mysterious crate and an overseer that you can find. I didn't even know anything about this until Eddie posted about it the other day. So I wanted him to send in a little bit of feedback about what that's all about. And then, if we need to, if there's still time, Damashek game, that list game we played last time. People seem to have fun with that. So we'll get into that. You guys demolished it last week. We did ammo styles. You guessed all freaking 30 whatever ammos there were. So congratulations on that. And I picked out a couple of those different categories. You guys said it was so fun last week. You're like, oh, why didn't we have another? We could have done another round. It's just that I didn't prepare another round.
It
So
was fun.
I've got a couple of rounds prepared. So we can do that later on if we have time for that. So those are the plans for this evening. Let's see if anybody's been playing any Fallout recently. I know Jess was sick for a long time, and then she had some mixing to do and stuff. So I don't know. Have you been playing any Fallout at all, Jess?
Oh yeah, I definitely got some in. This past weekend, overnight I did some camping, hung out with the crew a bit. I'm trying to think what night we played. I don't remember exactly, but I was. I think I hung with you on Friday night for a while. And
Yeah, I came by and saw the new digs.
yeah, what'd you think? Still a work in progress.
No, it's amazing, and I can't wait. So I didn't want to. I took some screen caps, but I didn't, post any of them because I, wanted you to have the reveal after you're finished, I guess, or it still looked really great to me. So I was like, oh, this is great. But I want you to have the ultimate reveal of it to people. I don't know. I assume you've said exactly what it is, but I don't know if you've actually posted any pictures of it or anything.
No, I haven't yet. But I started a week and a half, 2 weeks ago on the Fallout Feed Welcome Center, right up at the vault. It's visible from the vault entrance, and so yeah, hopefully I'll have pictures of that up this weekend. I just need Pat to come by at some point, or maybe Eric with some neon letters and finish it up.
Neon letters. Oh, so important on
Yeah.
the neon letters. Yeah.
So we did the Pioneer Scout stuff that night. We hung out at the digs. We did some more scouting. You're working. Are you a possum yet, Andrew?
Yeah, I got the backpack for the tadpoles, and I'm not. I haven't completed. How do you complete the possum? I don't even know. Is it still just 3 badges that you have to get for possum, or do you have to get more?
You are a possum once you get the backpack, right?
Yep.
You're a
pretty
tadpole
sure.
immediately because you get the tadpole uniform as soon as you start. And you get 3
Okay.
tadpole badges, then you qualify as a possum, and you get your backpack.
Okay, great. So I am technically a possum, but I've only. I don't know if I've completed any badges yet. I've been working on the photography one because I thought that would be one of the easiest ones because it's just basically going here, taking a picture of that, going there, take a picture of that, make a this many. I almost said ammo. The film, you have to create the film, and you have to go take pictures of special things. And I found out it's easiest, and it counts if everything's dead. So you kill stuff,
Oh yeah,
and then take a picture of the dead thing. It's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And
that's good stuff. And so we did some of that together on over the weekend and played into the wee hours of the morning like we do. And then let's see, what else did I do? Sunday, Monday, I was busy. I was making memes and doing some editing, like you said. And then Tuesday, I got on for a bit with Angel, one of our listeners on Xbox I hadn't played with yet. So went over, hung out with her. We worked on some armor. It was great because we were hanging out, doing some stuff, and then we got the rogue creature terrorizing Appalachia. Well, she hadn't done the imposter sheep squatch yet.
Oh, nice.
So she got on her armor. I said, let's go do it. We ran down, and she not only was it her first time, but we beat it too. So
nice.
That's
it was real good.
That's not easy your first time. That's a tricky event.
No, but she kept it going. I had to there were about 7 people there, so it was a decent crowd, not huge, but they weren't grabbing the antennas. What are they called again? The pylons. They weren't grabbing the pylons enough, so I had to double pylon it a bit. So I went through Boku stim packs.
Oh no.
But we got it done. It was beautiful.
I even triple pyloned a few times because I found that if you hammer some stim packs, like your multiple stim packs will stack, and you can survive the pylon basically until the sheep squatch kills you. So I just pound enough stim packs, you can even do a triple pylon.
And if you do go down, it's good not to, run around the exterior, take on a few of the gutsies, or if you can sneak up and get the squatch while you're piloning, that's fine. But yeah, I tend to tap the button basically every 5-6 seconds, for the stims, and it works. But if you do go down, you got that 30-second respawn, and you're still a pylon while you're fainted even. So don't regen right away. Let yourself stay a pylon, and that way sheep squatch stays vulnerable. Yeah.
That's good knowledge.
Oh, that is smart.
Just a little tip, because if you revive, someone then needs to grab the pylon. He's invulnerable again, and maybe other people are setting good shots. But so we beat that. She had a good time with that, I think. And let's see what else. I got some more pics I'll post from that night too that were pretty fun. And then last night, I think you guys, Andrew, I'm pretty sure you were and a few others trying out the Project Paradise event.
I am so lost. I have no idea what's happening with that. I went in with Angel. You were running around with Angel 2 nights ago. I was running around with her last night. We went in together. She said that she went in once and got killed and had no idea what was happening. So, and then she had to quit. But then she said, "Oh yeah, let's go in together." So we took off and went in there, and I had no idea what was happening. It was really confusing. Like we were running around. It took a while to start, and once it did start, I was like, I thought I was supposed to die immediately. I don't understand what's happening here. Where's that level 100 creature that I've been hearing about?
Yeah, that's the alpha. That's the alpha enemy at the end. So has anybody here completed it yet on the podcast tonight?
Yep. Crash the desktop both times, or freeze and a crash. So I haven't.
Definitely not. No.
Okay, so I've made it to the end, but I've only failed so far. So I tried it a little bit Tuesday night after Angel and everybody logged off. I got in there, I fought for a bit. We did get a friendly creature. I think it was Sammy the friendly stingwing. And Sammy went down pretty fast. But we got to where the alpha creature showed up. It was an alpha Grafton monster, and even the Grafton shouldn't be tough. It was just like me and one other person, and so we died. There are all kinds of robots and all kinds of things happening down there. And then the other 2 times I tried, I even tried this morning again before going to work. I got the crash to desktop. The way someone on Reddit put it is, Bethesda added a great new feature. I no longer need to go to menu to quit. I can just go to an elevator.
Elevator going up.
Yeah, but it's great. You go to that elevator in Arctos Pharma, and as soon as you hover over it, it says Project Paradise Biome 50 plus. It puts it there just so people know what they're getting into. Because I know, I believe Freighter let us know earlier that he died the second he exited the elevator. Not from crash to desktop, just from all the enemies.
Ooh.
But
That's exactly what
Sounds
I
like
heard.
fun.
Gabe had relayed that information too, that he had tried it 3 times, and it's like it's really, really tough down there. I don't know what was happening. I need to go back in there and
So here are the stages. You go in and you go down the elevator. You get to the front room area. There are a few creatures there, but not many. There's like 2 floors. It's the Project Paradise offices. You can go to a computer, I think called GAX4 or GA4 or something. No, it's Eric. That's it. It's Eric's 4. And you read the logs and you can start the Project Paradise event. Now it's best to wait for a couple of the people to join you. But that's when you start it. Once it starts, you go into the actual Paradise habitats. There are 3 habitats, A, B, and C. And while there, the first stage is you have to gather all kinds of junk and put it in the thing in the middle. So it could be you got to get venison, kill rad stags and put them in. It could be glowing gunk, a bunch of things. Every 15, 20 that you put into the center, it raises the level. You'll see your quest log, 0 of 3, then I'll go to 1 of 3, then 2 of 3. The higher that is, I believe the higher level your friendly creature defend will be, which is good, but also the more likely you are to get like a level 100 sheep squatch at the end. So once that happens, you have to once it starts, you have to defend your 3 creatures, and most people find that the safest way to do it is just defend 1. Like pick 1, let the other 2 die because we're not good enough at the event yet to keep them alive. And if you can keep it alive the whole time, when you get to the end, the alpha creature comes in after a certain amount of timer. And then you have to beat the alpha creature. And if you defeat him, then you succeed and you get all the loots. So it's rough.
Yeah, I feel like Angel might remember more than I was starting to get super tired at near the end there, but I feel like even though I had no idea what I was doing, I think I was collecting. You said goop or something like that, and putting that somewhere, and I was like, "Am I doing this right? I don't know. I'm putting this in some weird vessel."
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. And I think they're reusing the toxic gunk from like the Pioneer Scouts cleaning quest. You just
okay.
Yeah, grab the gunk, put it in the vessel in the middle. And like I said, every 15 or 20, it goes up a level. Yeah. So I know that was a lot to explain, but it's just 3 tiers. When you first enter, it says quest started, but then it says event Project Paradise. So I guess it's an event and a quest. And supposedly the rewards are good if you can beat it, but even if not, it's a lot of XP down there. The only problem is when you die, you respawn outside of Arctos Pharma, have to run all the way back in. And if you crash at the elevator, you're never getting that death bag.
Oh, that sucks, yeah.
Yeah. But that's my experience with it so far.
Have we nuked it yet?
Some people have. They're saying it doesn't affect. I know Rifle Gaming put up a video on it. And a few other people have tried. And they all said that because it's an event that spawns in a separate area, it doesn't seem to be like the burrows where they're affected. But hey, they're level 100 and glowing already, so I think we're okay.
Oh, I spawned in on Angel the other, must have been yesterday, Jess. You said you did the Sheep Squatch imposter event with her.
Yeah, on Tuesday, yep.
That was her first time. You guys were successful. I've done the event many times, and I've gotten, white fedoras out the wazoo. She did it her first time and got that sheep, the bad boy Billy, Billy, whatever the fucking thing is called, that mask.
Did she?
She had it on.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have the full pajama set now. Remember how I only had the blue pajamas like yours, the sheep squatch ones?
Uh-huh.
I got the Bud Billy, the blue head too. So now you and I are twinsies, except mine's like powder blue.
Yeah, hers was blue instead of black. I think the black version is the one you can purchase in the Atomic store, and the blue one is the one.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I didn't realize that was that there was a blue version. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it either.
Yeah, I think it's kind of rare.
Wow.
I have the whole furry suit, and then I have the blue jammers now because I've done it a few times.
Yeah, and you got the sheep squatch
Wow.
imposter helmet and the fuzzy jacket too.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the cool stuff.
Run around like a barbarian.
Nice.
Yeah, but Andrew, you got a pie.
Oh my god, yeah. We talked about that, right?
No, not on the show yet. That was
Oh my
when
God.
that's when you and I were playing on Saturday. Oh, you got
Yeah,
to
that was in between shows. Holy fuck, guys! I got a perfectly preserved pie for the first time ever. Granted, I didn't play Fallout 3 a ton, or New Vegas. I've played more, but Fallout 4, 1,000 hours easily. Probably not 2, but over 1,000 hours easily. 76, I'm 400, 500. I don't know how many 100 hours I'm in so far, but I'm getting in deep. I've tried that pie thing since the fucking beginning of time, and cute. Oh, this pie. There's an easy one you can get in Far Harbor, I think. That's
World.
Nuka World. Okay, but there's like, it's so much. It was just so funny because Jess and I were talking about, oh, here's the pie thing. Let's try. Let's go get some pie. Why do we even try this anymore? What's the fucking point of even trying to get the pie? It's impossible. The pie doesn't work. No one gets the pie.
Like, what is up with this? I'm seeing people say they got it recently. I don't know if they're lying or what's going on. We played for thousands of hours. This is not fair. I think it's just a joke. They're all pulling one over on us.
And then I push the button and then I get the fucking pie.
Nice.
And the way he said it, he was Jess.
Jess?
Exactly. I got pie. And of course, my response was, "What? Well, maybe they made it easier." Yeah.
She's just like,
Maybe
well,
they made it easier.
they did make it
That was
easier
a
after
perfect
all.
response.
I was so bad. I felt so mean afterwards, but I was just in shock.
She was just a little bit bitter.
It was hilarious. Well, they did make it easier. I was like, oh.
So here's my question. Do all of you guys just try every time you pass one?
Every time. Sometimes I sit there and try it 3 or 4 times.
Really? I gave up. Like I just assumed I was never going to get one. I just run right past them. I don't even care.
It seems like an impossibility, doesn't it?
Right? So I'm like, what's the point? I don't want to wait 12 seconds for it to screw me, basically.
No, that's fair. I'll be honest. I'm down to only trying about half the time. So,
Yeah.
Andrew deserves it more, I guess.
Pat,
Do you try every time?
Yeah.
No. I used to in 4, but I once Nuka World actually kind of spoiled it for me. Once they introduced those easy ones in Nuka World, it's like, okay. If I ever need a pie, I'll just go to Nuka World. And
I'm drawing a blank.
Right.
What was the easy one in Nuka World like?
I think all of them. I think I mean, it wasn't like 100% of the time, but it was much easier.
Oh, so
Like-
it's just in the same machine. They just made the probability more likely.
Yeah.
That's what you mean? Okay, because there is one piece that you can just get somewhere.
Yeah, that's
I think
Nuka
that's
World,
Far
I think.
Harbor, but you said
Okay.
there's Nuka World. I thought there was one in
Well,
Far Harbor. I can't remember.
I don't know. It's been ages. I was remembering that there was the Nuka World ones where they made the
I
made
do
the
think
machines easier.
Yeah, I do think there's another one out there in Fallout 4, but I can't remember where because I remember getting it and I haven't done all of Nuka World yet. So it's got to be Far Harbor or somewhere else. And it was not long before we started Fallout and I had been in, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I was thinking a lot about Fallout 4 yesterday,
Yeah.
the day before yesterday, and yesterday. It's like, man, I'd like to play some Fallout 4. Oh, then I couldn't talk to everybody. It's like,
I know.
well, half the time I'm playing with everybody anyway. I'm just off doing my own thing,
Yeah.
and we can just chat with each other while we're doing that.
Well-
So we could just be in an Xbox party
Yeah.
anyway, playing
Yeah.
Fallout
Right.
4, talking to each other. It'd be kind of the same thing.
We could have somebody in 4 and somebody in 3 and somebody in New Vegas.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, the round robin, the Fallout round robin.
I like to go kill big shit though, and I need a posse for that.
It's true. We got spoiled.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm all about the posses now.
yeah. I like doing a Scorch Beast Queen. I like doing the White Springs run. I
But
like the burrows.
It's good to have a little of both. I was really tempted by Fallout 4. I think this past weekend too. You know, I'm looking at our last round table, and my character Dallas, she never quite finished the game by the time we finished, and you know, but that's the thing. We got to keep moving on.
Yeah.
Now, depending on what E3 announcements get made, it might determine what we do in future roundtables.
But didn't they say they weren't announcing anything?
Probably, but
Fallout wise?
will they say that to just make you shut up?
Oh, they're gonna hype it as much as they can, don't you think? They hyped 76 like crazy. They had the whole,
It's
you
true.
know,
They knew
TV
it-
screen thing.
They knew it was going to be a flop. That's why they had to hype that one, right?
Oh, it wasn't a flop.
Yeah, and
Nope.
I don't think they knew that.
I
I
mean-
take offense to that.
It's probably not going to win any Game of the Year awards or anything, but
That's fine. It
they're
wins in my
probably-
heart.
what are the sale numbers against Fallout 4? Is any-
Oh.
They actually said that, I mean, obviously we have Lifetime of Fallout 4, but they said that it was successful. They haven't told us the exact measure, and we believe it sold less. But we're
No.
going to deal with some numbers later in the show. So that might give us a little bit of a clue.
Yeah, because I know Fallout 4 demolished all their previous games.
I can tell you on trueachievements.com, these are just Xbox stats, but trueachievements.com, Fallout 76 was in the top 20 games played on Xbox for November, December, and January until the beginning of February. Now, we haven't been back in the top 20
See?
since, but that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
That is pretty good. And I am seriously considering getting Fallout 4 for Fallout 4. 76 for PS4. And I was shopping today. It's only $25 at Walmart.
You're making Jen and Will like just giddy over there.
I really want to play. And Will is doing that super cool thing where he's trying to get a bunch of people together for
Yeah,
his Tesla art concert. And I feel
When is he
like
doing that?
I need to be part of that.
Sunday.
It's this weekend.
Yeah, that's this weekend. If you're on
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 and you'd like to participate, Will's trying to get a bunch of people over to his place to take a band rock and roll. Is that what the kids call it these days? Rock and roll? They're taking a picture with all the Tesla arcs, like shooting electricity as they're all playing instruments and doing cool poses. The kids do the kids still do poses? Is that what they do?
The kids love poses, Andrew.
They
Yep.
pose.
The kids like they do the dab.
Is that what that's called? I was gonna say they all do this like stupid dance that I hate so much, and
No,
everyone
that's flossing you're thinking of right now.
flossing.
The
Okay.
flossing is the dance. The dabbing is the pose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cam Newton does the pose, and Antonio
I can't
Brown does
stand
the
Cam
flossing.
Newton.
Yeah, and dabbing hasn't been cool in a couple of years. Sorry, Andrew.
Don't worry, I haven't been cool in ages. I've never been cool. Is
Yeah,
the
but see, dabbing is rounded the corner. It's now ironic, so it's
Well, that's a good point. A little dab will do ya.
corner. So, is flossing from Fortnite? Is that where that came from?
yes, yeah.
One of their
And then there's the
Yeah.
other one with the kicky thing and the arms and the leg. Do you know what I'm talking about? The other Fortnite dance?
Taekwondo? No. that guy attacking Arnold the other day, he did the kicky thing with the legs.
Oh
in the air.
my goodness.
I
That
know
was
I think
crazy.
I can picture what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of that one. I just know the
Yeah.
flossing.
Yeah.
Ray, how much
Anyway.
Fallout have you gotten to play?
I got to play a little bit. I played a little after the show Thursday night, while I was waiting for my wife and her sister to get back from the casino. And I played for a couple hours when I was in Billings, Montana. So,
Nice. You've conquered all the new material, I assume.
well, so I thanks to your Wi-Fi, I just downloaded the update.
Thanks to my wife. What?
No, your Wi-Fi.
That just said my wife. I was like,
He said waifu. I think he said waifu.
she does update my game often when I'm at work on a Tuesday, and I'm like, can you please go downstairs and click update on the Xbox because I can never get my stupid fucking Xbox to auto update ever. Ugh, I hate it. My Xbox is possessed.
But so yeah, I didn't. I did a couple of cranberry bog nuke zones,
Oh, nice.
and that was about it.
What do you do in a nuke zone? Are you a Flora guy or are you a go kill the Scorch Beast Queen guy?
Yeah, no, I killed the stuff. I'm looking for XP and.
Who am I asking? Why did I even ask?
But yeah,
Is this
good
Abby
time.
that you're playing with?
Yeah, I play with her pretty much exclusively now.
Yeah.
I guess I could turn Cobb into a cannibal, and he might be more fun too. But
yeah,
Abby the cannibal is definitely a fun character to play.
Well, Scott. No, not Scott. It was Angel's brother, Bob. Bob was asking what specials we have. He was really interested in the damage output, and Angel too. They both had the question like, I see you guys go up and just like 1 and 2 swipe stuff and stuff dies, and like we're sitting here taking 13 shots with my rifle in order to get stuff down. How do you do that? What do your specials look like? So they wanted to see pictures of our specials. Ray, what are your? They were particularly asking about sneakiness and I believe melee damage. Now, this is something we can get into in great detail when we do our respec special that we'll do after you get home, Ray, so that you can have a little bit of time to do a little research and look into builds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just for Abby, for your one build here that you're doing, does she have a sneak aspect to her, and does she have a melee aspect to her? Is there anything you can inform us there?
Yeah, so she does both. So the strength and agility are both either 14 or 15, so that it gives the maximum power to the. She does one-handed, so she's got a ski sword that does the most damage for her. But I also have a cultist dagger, and that's what I use on the Scorch Beast Queen. Whenever the Scorch Beast Queen comes down, because I can just sit there and just repeatedly stab with great speed.
Does it have any legendary effects on it? Just a normal dagger?
No, it's got so that one has where the it does 50% more damage against enemies below 40% of health.
Okay.
I think is that Executioner?
That sounds right. Yeah. That would make sense. Like finishing you off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the opposite of the instigators, which does double damage if you're 100%.
Yeah.
Like the counterpart to that card.
Yeah, which is why I wish. So I've got one of each.
Not card, you know what I mean?
Right, legendary. So if I could have an instigator in one hand and a executioner in the other, she'd be unstoppable.
I still don't understand why we can't dual wield. That is so. God, we should be able to do that by this point. Can you imagine?
You've never been able to do that in Fallout, though. That's just not Fallout's never had that.
Right.
I know, but 76 has done a lot of broken the mold on a lot of different things.
But so you have to max your cards out for if you're doing one unarmed, one-handed, two-handed. So that takes care of your melee. So that my ski sword, when it's fully repaired, does about 260 damage.
Golly, that's a lot.
So then on the other side with the agility, you've got sneak, which poor Eddie, whenever he plays with me, I mean the enemies trip over me going after him when he's completely on the other side of the room. So you get your sneak card up, and you're 75% harder to detect, and I mean it's almost 100% harder. I mean, I literally have things bumping into me and still not realize that I'm there.
Do you use the escape artist card?
I think I have one level of that one. I also use Incisor in the strength category because that since I use pokey weapons.
Yes. Incisor is great. I believe that does armor penetration damage of like 25, 50, and 75%. That's really significant. 75% armor, ignores that. And
but that only works if you're using a pointy weapon.
Do gauntlets count as pointy?
Probably.
Have to be a spear.
They look pointy. But so then the other thing to use in agility is if you're doing melee is ninja. So that gives me, if I do a sneak attack, I get 3 times because I've got the 3 levels of ninja. And so when you get that sneak multiplier, that's where you're one-shotting death claws and everything else. So that's the key to the sneaky build.
Another one in agility that I recommend is the adrenaline card. I like that one with my melee, especially when you're getting swarmed by groups of things. It's really nice. It's a tick of, there's 5 different levels of it, and it's an uptick of 1% each level, starting at 6 up to 10%. So you gain 10% of a maximum of 60 damage for 30 seconds after a kill, and the duration refreshes with each kill. So you're getting swarmed by stuff, you kill something, it gets refresh each time, and you get to keep killing stuff. Gain 10% damage.
Yeah. I usually just let myself die and then respawn and sneak back in so that I can reestablish my sneak.
I used to have the liberty to do that, Ray, but I'm again to the point where I'm being crippled by my inventory, and I still haven't muled stuff back onto this character to put in my shop. So I overheard Jess the other day, like I'm going to get my weight down to 500 or 600 or something. So
in my stash.
I need to do that too. I need to have like a spring cleaning event, get rid of a bunch of shit. I know that there's junk in there that I'm never ever going to use, so I need to get it to people who can use it, or just dump it in a bag or something, because there's a lot of dead weight somewhere in my inventory that I'm not really making use of well. So I need to go digging and see where I can
check for gunpowder and ore, because they sit on your miscellaneous tab and they can build up.
Yeah. I probably just have too much of stuff, like I probably have 400 gunpowder sitting in there or something, and yeah. And whenever I look, I'm like, oh shit, why am I so over encumbered? Oh gosh, I have 128 inert flux on me.
Yeah, because that's twice as heavy as water. No, or maybe like it's quite a bit heavier than water. It's with max through hiker, I think it's 0.2 even with max through hiker. So if you pick up a lot of flux, it adds up.
Need to get rid of that stuff. Use it or get rid of it.
Well, for me, since I don't use any carry perks, water weighs a pound and inert flux only weighs a half pound.
Oh, how's that work?
I was thinking inert flux was heavier than water for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump back on the sneak build, that what we're talking about with perks. My husband has the equivalent of kind of a sneaky archer build. and he uses the covert operative card. I know you mentioned the ninja one from Melee. Covert operative is his main card, plus light-footed, so he doesn't ever set off traps while sneaking. And his secret, a secret thing that he thought of that I hadn't at first, but I've adopted since on Ron, is having Mysterious Stranger up high. So if you're doing your VATS, headshots at 2.5 damage with covert operative, and then every once in a while Mysterious Stranger pops up and distracts them so they don't see you, you can run through with people never seeing you and kill them from a distance.
Never thought about using him as a distraction or something. That's interesting.
Yeah, because he doesn't do a whole lot of damage at higher levels. He's great. He's great at first, and then he's more of a distraction or diversion. Diversion. That's the word.
Like Keith and I were playing the other day, last weekend. I don't remember exactly when, but he was sharing the Mysterious Stranger, and I was sharing the Mysterious Savior. So he was popping up all over the damn place. It was hilarious. Like saving us and coming to shoot things for us. It's like, hey, thanks, guy.
So I am looking forward to getting. I got rid of empath.
Oh, great.
So yeah, that was definitely a relief.
I sort of stopped trying just because I kept getting rid of the good stuff, and I know that the game knows what I'm trying to do when I'm trying to do that. I just got frustrated of trying, so I stopped trying. But I need to get rid of empath. And herd mentality is annoying sometimes if you can't be on a team. I'm almost always on a team when possible, but herd mentality is really bad if you're not on a team. That stinks.
Yeah, thankfully, that was one of the ones that I did not have. So,
but I'm almost always on a team. It's probably because of herd mentality. Like if I log on, if I don't see any of you guys on, or any of our friends on the Xbox group, then I'm like, asking random person closest to me on the map, like, hey, help, team up.
Oh, I never team with randos.
Yeah, Pat, you're not the most social guy on the game.
Well, but it could be it could be a way to get yourself griefed.
Yeah, it's safer now than it used to be. Now that your camps can't be hurt, but in the past they would do that and then find your, so you can destroy your camp.
Yeah, well, but they can still. It takes two, but two people can grief you if you accept rando team ups. Your teammate goes and goes and initiates PvP with his buddy, and then his buddy, because you're on the rando's team, his buddy is now hostile to you. And if he's like playing a Bloodies build or something, then you get one shotted. You can do nothing about it. So it is that is why I never team with randos. It's not because of antisocial. I just I'm not going to take the chance that I'm going to get griefed by people teaming up and griefing.
I still do sometimes around events and such. It's still fun to meet new people, but I do agree that I got a little bit more nervous about it than I used to be. But it's fine. You can talk in area chat, you can run with them. But if I'm not playing with them, if I'm not in an event with them, I'm not going to accept a team invite. So not from across the map anymore.
Yeah. I mean, probably 80% of people just want free fast travel, but the other, there's another chunk that want to grief you.
How about your Fallout playing this week, Pat? Have you played at all?
Yeah, I played a bunch this week because I was out of town Mother's Day weekend. So last weekend I played a ton. Just a lot of I've been exploring a lot of player shops. I've been just doing a lot of just generalized derping, a fair amount of tadpole badging, and just kind of just generally doing the stuff. I haven't tried. Like I said, I tried the Project Paradise event twice, but crashed the desktop once and froze the other time. So I have since restarted my Xbox, but I haven't gotten back into that event yet.
Yeah, might be worth waiting till next week. I mean, keep giving it a try if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll try it. I mean, it's I don't occasional crash is no big deal. But I moved my camp for the first time. That's actually the big project I had. I've been in that location in the Savage Divide for a long time, and
gosh, forever. Like we visited you there even 2-3 months ago.
I was there for a long time, and it was a good location. But I was kind of getting tired getting attacked every time I fast travel back. It was like stopping me from like going to my camp and stuff. So
Yuck.
I decided to go back to the forest just because it's so it is literally so peaceful there. So I'm actually pretty close to the vault right now because I just found sort of a local high spot. The view's not great because of the trees in the forest, but it's extremely quiet. So I used the brick and concrete building structure rather than steel, just for a change of pace.
I definitely want to check it out soon. Are you north of the vault in that area?
I am just barely north. There's a contour lines. Like if you go to the vault, there's some like obvious contour lines, just sort of to the northeast. And I'm in the sort of higher of those contour lines, just a little bit northwest of the North Canal lookout. So I'm really super close to the vault right now.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I hesitated to do that with my welcome center, probably like you might have with yours, because you already have free fast travel to the vault and then
Yeah,
free fast travel to your camp. So having them nearby, that ruins one of the benefits. But
yeah, exactly. I don't love the location, but it's definitely quiet. So I'm going to enjoy it for a while, and then I'll probably move a little bit north to be closer up towards the Toxic Valley, just to get because it is a little silly from a fast travel perspective.
if I could recommend other places in the forest, I know there are a bunch. We've recommended them, but near where you are, the bend in the road. I forget the route, but the one that leaves right from the vault up, where it does a quick V bend in the road, is a nice high spot that never seems to get attacked. And then also where I believe Michelle had his camp, near that pond. It's just south and a little more west of the vault. Really pretty and never gets attacked.
Oh, you
Nice.
brought up Michelle. That makes me sad. I haven't heard him mention anything about Fallout in a long time. Michelle?
Yeah, I think this game is 76 is maybe not as suited to Michelle's style. It seems like.
Yeah. And also, I hear Rebecca's not digging 76 as much anymore, which makes me sad. I love hearing from Rebecca. I haven't heard her voice in a while. So
I think she ebbs and flows. Probably she'll come back and check out a bunch of the new content with Will and Jen sometime here.
yeah, I hope
It's been a while, and there's a lot to see now that Wild Appalachia is wrapping up.
Is Arctos it's not the final wave of that.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
This is the last Wild Appalachia.
And then is there another group of
Nuclear Winter, I think.
nuclear?
Right.
Ooh.
Which that brings us to Eddie's feedback and talking about the crates and some of what we expect there. Maybe
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That has something to do with that.
we think it might be a lead-in. I'll let him talk about it on his feedback.
Well,
But given that Nuclear Winter might be a bit of a battle royale or a different kind of PvP mode, we think it might involve Vault 51, and that has to do with the Vault 51 Overseer. I think it's linked. I think they're doing breadcrumbs.
interesting. Well, let's see what Eddie has to say about it.
Hello, everyone. Eddie here, coming to you from Flatwoods in my humble abode, with an update on the post I put on the Facebook group yesterday with the mysterious crate and the Overseer's body that appeared in the game recently. A little over a week ago, the first crate appeared just outside of Morgantown at the Super Duper Mart. In that crate was a holotape labeled Automated Record 000001.
Oh my god. Where the hell am I? Oh. I don't know. Okay. It doesn't matter. Where was the other one again? Okay. Tower. River. Fork. Yeah.
I didn't realize it at the time until yesterday that one was actually leading to another crate, the radio tower just outside of Flatwoods. In that crate was Automated Record 000002.
The hike from Morgantown was short, but it taught me all I needed to know. This part of the world is over. Might as well be the entire world from the looks of it. It makes my mission easier and simpler now. I swear on every soul I took, that I'm gonna unplug that goddamn bucket of gold. Tin Man mentioned Reclamation Day. I have to find them. I have to go north.
Now that one is a lot more interesting. Mentioning unplugging a bucket of bolts and someone named Tin Man that mentioned Reclamation Day. Obviously a nod to Vault 76. Directly north from where this crate is on the way to 76. And just past the Alpine River cabins and across the road, you find the Overseer's body. That Overseer's body is a checklist. It reads, distract him, check. Stash the rest of the supplies, check. Jump in the other crate, check. Pray to God I survive, check. Find anyone from 76, check. The last one that's unchecked just reads, kill Zax. Z-A-X, all caps. Now, a little search on Wikipedia reveals that Zax is not a person. Zax refers to a supercomputer, an advanced supercomputer developed by Vault-Tec, capable of learning, independent thought, and creativity with added error insertion to improve its variance and experience and learning capability. Now, these supercomputers were soon taken over by the government for the most part. One appeared in Fallout 1 in the West Tech building. But it also says on here that the Zax units developed before the state would not have been self-aware. But later Zax units are known to have achieved self-awareness. A little more digging around, and not to ruin any surprises coming up in Pat's Fallout 3 Let's Play, but we'll just say that the supercomputer inside of Raven Rock, the one that caused all the trouble, is a Zax computer. So that might give us some idea of what we're about to come up against. Next pilot downloads and the DLC that they have. Originally, people were thinking this was going to be some sort of battle royale type mode, but it's starting to look like it's going to be more of a end-game type boss situation in this raid. Either way, it'll be interesting to see what comes up in this next bunch in Nuclear Winter DLC. Thank you all for listening. See you in the Wasteland.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie. So gosh, I was starting to have more questions than answers. But that sounds fun. So this is they're like teasing the next batch of DLC stuff, right? That's what's happening there.
Yeah.
Yep, I love how mysterious it is. Like you said, more questions than answers, especially when we only heard the audio tapes at first, the first audio log and the second one. And then the Overseer's body, I don't think was even in the game until Tuesday's update. At least I hadn't heard of anyone finding it before then. So I think
that's right.
Yeah, they're sprinkling it. But so I'm sure you got most of what he said, but the idea that Vault 51 had a Zax supercomputer as part of the vault, like the West Tech facility, like Raven Rock, the one that became John Henry Eden for the Enclave. And that Zax supercomputers turned against the Overseer, and he was setting up and testing tribalism, turning the vault residents against each other. And so that's why we think that it's going to be about a different kind of PvP mode that's going to be part of Nuclear Winter. But we don't know. Do you have any more info?
I don't have anything else. But the one thing, thinking about Endgame, right? Because at some point, there's what is going to happen there. Because at some point, they've got to come back to the presidential election, right? Because that's maybe that's not Endgame, maybe that's post Endgame. I don't know, but there's the presidential election, and there's all the freaking cabins you can't enter on at the White Spring. Remember all the that's my personal guess, is that those are going to have something to do with the once you can get yourself elected president, that those cabins are going to become accessible. I don't know if anybody has any info on those.
No, but there is the presidential suite at the Enclave bunker.
Yep. and there's all those polling stations and ballot term printing presses, printers that you can't that you can click and print, but nothing happens.
Yeah, that we're going to be able to load some ballots at some point and rig an election, I feel. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, you're going to be able to get yourself elected president, and then maybe at that point you can access those, the suite at the Enclave, and maybe get into those freaking cabins.
Yeah, and that is a PvP event from the stuff that I've read on it, because you can, if you're running for president, you can kill the other people that are running against you, and get their votes.
That's not fair.
They drop their votes in a brown paper bag, and you pick them up.
So it sounds like it's going to be a pretty wild event.
Hey, these votes, they just fell off the back of a truck. What do I know?
Oh my. Presumably, what I'm assuming, and Ray, I don't know if you know, or Jess, if that you'll basically go around the map printing ballots of yourself or something. You don't have to magically collect ballots all over the map as though you're at the different places where you can find those.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah, that's the way I understand it. Is and you've got a limited amount of time to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, where did you hear this? Where did you hear about this from? I'm totally in the dark on this. I'm loving it though.
It's in the wiki.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, now, Ray, has it been data mined, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure the source of it. I just sort of by osmosis picked it up and just sort of putting two and two together, right, with the ballots that you find all over the map and those cabins at the White Springs you can't get into, and the suite at the Enclave. So I think that's. But I don't know if your ultimate source of it was data mining, like some of the other stuff that's been out there for a while. Because this was out there, I think, very, very early, like before they started dropping DLC or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was a data mine thing, because there's a lot of detail on it, but there's no indication of when it's actually going to play.
And they've still got a bunch of vaults to open. Right, and there's like half a dozen vaults that have popped up.
Yep.
Some of which seem like they're going to be related to nuclear winter, but maybe others are going to be presidential, or even some other DLC we don't know about yet.
Yeah, because 51 is the one that was up in the north west end of the map that had the texture missing for the longest time.
Oh, that was one you could get into.
Well, you can't get into it, but you
could at one point, right? Wasn't there one that was accessible on PC?
Oh yeah, people have managed to break their way into a couple of vaults to get some pictures, whether they spawn there by accident or they use one of the tricks to slide through the walls on PC.
Yeah. See, I'm looking at the map now. I'm seeing 63, 96, 94. Where'd you say 51 is, Ray?
It's all the way up in the upper the northwest corner.
Yeah.
There's a little circle of mountains up there just past the lumberyard where all the mutants are.
And 51 is the only one that was added after, right? The other 4 were in the game from the beginning, but 51 was added right around the beginning of update 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but when Eddie was talking, in the back of my head, I all of a sudden got the idea. Well, because Ray and I were talking before the show, he was discussing about Fallout 4, all the alternate start mods and stuff like that. How when Start Me Up got going, then you could actually really get some good alternate starts going. And I was just thinking, what if when they open up some of these other vaults, like they have some players starting out of other vaults then, and like some of the DLC will be, I know it's Fallout 76, we're starting Vault 76, but then like, what if like they have different alternate starts where you can choose which vault you start out of or something maybe. It's like, oh, that might be fun. I mean, I doubt they'll do that. They'll probably just have different adventures and stuff locked up in stores.
Yeah, I would say they'll come with mods and private servers probably.
I can't wait till that. And how long is that? Years? Months?
I think they've kind of always said at least a year from launch. So we've got another at least 6 months, right?
Yeah, I've never read word one about that. Of course, I don't go searching for that information. But
I don't think Bethesda's ever said, but I think the CW is that it'll be at least a year out, just with the DLC plans and everything else.
beautiful.
Yeah, it makes sense. They got to get through this, get past the new main quest. I always thought, I love what you're talking about with the ballot printers. I always thought the lower reason for them being there was the special election for senator after, Senator Sam Blackwell was disgraced, and they were having that special election. So
yeah, could be. Yeah,
that's why they're there in the first place. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to use them for this if the people got that from the data.
well, and just I've assumed there's some, just because you can interact with them, right? They're not just set dressing.
That's what I was gonna say. They do something. They let you interact with something, but yet they don't do anything after you interact with them. So I feel like there's plans more. There's more to it coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like those inaccessible apartments, the cabins in White Spring. They put a hand scanner on there for a reason, and we're not allowed in there yet. But that means that it's not just a locked door. Otherwise, they would just put it boarded up.
Yeah,
it's not boarded up. So that means their plans.
And they
What
say
could
you
be
need a
back
key
there?
to enter. They don't ignore you.
Yeah.
If you click on the door, they'll say got to have a key.
Sarah, did you get to play any Fallout this week?
I did. I helped launch my first nuke.
Yay!
Yay!
I don't think I knew that. That's awesome. What happened?
So our friend James took us down. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it was me, it was Aaron, and it was Clay, I think. And he took us through, just going through all the different parts of it. It's kind of involved, not too bad, but a little bit involved. And then we nuked White Springs and ran through White Springs. And then I went and I met Murmur lady. Murmur. Traded in all my legendaries, and I got a pretty cool shotgun back from her. So I wasn't expecting I don't know, I wasn't expecting much, but I was very happy to get that.
Most people are devastated by how piss poor the exchange has gone so far.
Yeah, I think I got lucky, so I'm going to continue to keep my expectations low with her. But then Christian gave me the railway rifle, which is my favorite gun in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a quad ammo, exploding, and then 25% less VATS. So it's
nice. That's good.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm going to be farming a lot of steel to make.
Was Fallout 4 and the Railroad faction the introduction of the railway rifle into the series, or has the railway rifle been around for a long time?
Oh, I don't know.
Introduction, as far as I know.
Yeah, because Gauss rifle has been around for a while, but I think that's right.
All right, so lore-wise, why is it in 76?
Because it's cool.
Yeah, it makes train noises.
Okay. I was just wondering, like, if it wasn't in 3, so it wasn't in the DC area.
But from what I understand,
in DC?
Yeah, but the railroad isn't around in any other game, right? Or is the railroad around in other games?
It is not.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, you get it from the railroad in Fallout 4, so it's just their special, like.
Well, I understand Fallout 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is it in 76? I don't understand that part.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I think you could. There's lots of back ways you could get it. Like you could say that that Tinker Tom discovered it. And some railroad group discovered it when they were exploring westward. The Appalachia or whatever. Right. It's lots of ways for.
Yeah, because don't you get one from the junkyard where the guy had built his bunker in a rail car container that you have to go power up the generator to release the latch on the door, and there's a railway rifle in there. What is it? Big Jim's or
Big Jim's the pipe wrench. Is a wrench.
No, I'm talking about the
The
location.
location.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, they're the junkyard in south of Boston or
Mhm.
south of Diamond City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I know the location. I don't remember the picking up a gun.
It has all the super mutants in it.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Mhm.
That's a fun location, by the way, in Fallout 4. That's a really good location.
Oh yeah.
Lots of fun sneaking around getting those super mutants.
So I did look it up, and there was a railway rifle in Fallout 3. So I guess you
Oh.
could say
Nice.
it's been there since Bethesda started making them. There's a random encounter that you could find with a railway rifle, and then you can build one. They're not a regular
Whoa.
item on the loot table, but you can build one. I guess it says Fort Independence and at a Robco facility in 3. And then they
Oh.
had it. They had
Huh.
it in New Vegas on the back of Mick and Ralph's, in their special weapons area. I'm sure you remember that, Pat, the special
Oh
weapons
yeah,
area,
that's where you
Mick
can
and
get
Ralph's.
we can get the Pimp Boy 3 billion. It's very important.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on there, but you can't buy it. But you can see one on the
Interesting.
wall.
So this whole time I thought it was a special gun, railroad, but it actually has nothing to do with it.
That's the first time I encountered it myself. Yeah, I never saw
How
it. in 3.
funny.
So- Jess, I think I just heard you say that it was even around before Bethesda took over the series. So does that mean it was in Fallout 1 and 2? And
No. I said it looks like it was introduced with Bethesda. So in 3.
Okay.
And it wasn't a major thing in 3, but in 4 they made sure that everybody in the game,
Had it.
Yep.
Where's my junk jet in 76?
Yeah.
I didn't use it often in 4, but it was fun to shoot teddy bears at Deathclaw sometimes.
I never played with it.
That'd be the one way to get you to finally reduce your carry weight.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go. There you go.
That is a great idea.
I wonder
Oh my
if they
God.
introduce it later.
Oh my god.
Well, the best thing about the junk jet is you could just pick up the stuff and just shoot it again. You know, it was never
Yeah.
ending.
You had infinite ammo because you just picked up the same
Yeah.
teddy bear over and over, or basketball or whatever you're shooting at people. Yeah, that's great. Anything else, Sarah? Did you get any more trouble?
No, mainly just running around trying to kill shit.
Launching
what I
nukes? What do you do when you go into the White Spring Blast Zone? What is your order of operation?
I don't really have an order of operations. It's just kind of like whatever I come to first. It depends on where I'm coming from. Usually I guess I'm coming from the train station. So I usually hit up the apartments first and then wander down to the club, I guess.
So you're an XP / hardened mass fluids type looking. Do you go flora hunting too?
Oh, always. And you know what? I don't do anything with any of the fluxes. I just give them away. So when we're done, I'm like, okay, who wants stuff?
But you actually make the stabilized versions and then you don't use them?
So I only just started making them because I was like, maybe I'll keep a few on hand just in case. But that was just this last time that I was on. I actually made some. So I just have like the flux and the hard mass and the the fluids.
High radiation fluids and glowing mass.
All away.
Glowing mass, hardened mass, high radiation fluid.
Yeah. I just collect it because I figure somebody that I'm with is gonna want it.
Yeah.
And usually somebody that I'm with has given me like marsupial or the railway rifle or something awesome. So it's like
Giving you marsupial, like they're making the serum and just giving it to you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Eddie hooked me up. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, from what I can tell, from what your description is, basically your PC group is exactly like our Xbox group, where it's like if I'm sort of struggling with something and I ask for a word of advice on how to get something, instead of people giving me that word of advice on how to make it or do it, I was like, well, I've got that. Here, take it.
Here,
No, guys, I want to go through the process and know how to do this thing. It's like, and right now I need to figure it out because if you all remember stories of when we first started 76, I was cussing during the beta because I was trying to bust through as much as the main story as I could, but I felt like it was I felt like I hit a bug. I felt like the overseer's bug when I got to the top of the world. What I didn't know is there was something in the chest that I was supposed to unlock in order to progress the thing. I was supposed to do a holotape or something in the overseer's stash that I didn't know. But anyway, my new bug here is doing the camera stuff for the photography badge for possum badge. I've completed the bucket list quest. I've gotten the cameras. I've put them together. I've repaired them. But evidently there's some special lens that you're supposed to get after completing the bucket list quest in order to mod the camera. Now, I was not granted that lens, or
you gave away the plan.
I scrapped it or gave away the plans, or I did something like I stored it. Like, I don't know. I was told that the plans was not given to me as plans, but it is knowledge that was granted to you. Does anyone can confirm or deny that? Do we know how that works?
I can't confirm. I seem to remember reading mine, but that could just be my imagination. It might have just been a pop-up plan.
And if I fucked myself here, is there any way to get the plan back to do it again? Because I can't launch the quest again. Can I go back to those places and take more pictures and get, like, if I fucked myself, I need to be able to mod this camera. Like, if I don't have the lens, though, can I get another one somehow, somewhere? Someone else give me go looking at people, vendors?
I feel like we can mod. Other people can chime in, but I think we can fix and mod other cameras we find. So maybe someone can do it for you.
No, you can't though. You can't give away. You can't give away either the broken. So to make the camera, you need a broken ProSnap camera, not a broken camera, but a broken ProSnap camera. And you can't give away the broken ProSnaps. I thought you could, but
Jerry
or Gabe corrected me, and they're correct. You cannot give those away, and you definitely can't give away the fixed one. So you.
Yeah, but I would need to fix it myself anyway, not give it to someone else to fix, because I need to get the credit for the back.
Well, what I wonder, Andrew, could you, if you didn't get the quest reward, maybe you could redo the quest. Maybe you need to find the tourist again.
But it's marked completed in my quest log.
Well, but this game works so good, that it never ever happens that you get to do a completed quest. That never happens in this game.
That's a great point, Pat. Thank you. Anyone in the Xbox group, if you happen to be around at the tourist spots and you happen to see a tourist and see me on, please give me a heads up and I'll hop onto your server and look for the tourist and just to see if I can spark that off again. I doubt I can, but who knows? Maybe it'll work. Let me know.
And it could be, have you tried to repair and make the lens multiple times? Because I wonder, sometimes you log into a server, something doesn't work, it's not there. And next time you log, it's there.
Yeah,
I've had that happen too.
I've tried 3 or 4 different play sessions now, and it won't even give me the option to mod the camera. I don't have the lens. Like, I can't mod, like, it's not even an option. It's grayed out. You know what I mean? In my menu. Mm-hmm. I don't even have the option of.
But you can make the camera, the base camera, but you can't do the
lens. Repair the broken ProSnap camera. I can repair that into I have 2 of them now. Both are repaired in normal cameras. I just can't. I don't have the E blah 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 203 whatever lens that you get.
Right, the 105 millimeter.
105, yeah.
My main character hasn't done it yet. Ron has, but my main character hasn't. So I will watch really closely, and if you're around, I'll grab you when I complete it. See what we see. That
would be great, because it's if I screwed myself by getting rid of the plan or something, that would just be really stupid. But I thought maybe since I've done it, I've completed the quest. If I go to White Spring, will one of the robots have the plan? Since I've completed it,
that's a good question.
Spawning into the game somewhere,
maybe
or a photography vendor. Like, which one do you think would be most likely to have that sort of? There must be a plans one. There is a plans bot.
No. All the bots have the various plans that are.
I was thinking of
scattered around.
Yeah, you're right.
Scattered around the bots.
Hey, have you guys noticed this week that the bots have more of the random mod plans than they usually have?
No. I'm going to go to White Spring and check. I have not noticed that.
Yeah, you should. I found like the Free States vendor, a couple of the train stations. You know how they always have the guns they sell, and the plans
Yeah.
for the guns or the plans for the items. But but then they only have like 1 or 2 NV scopes or
Yeah.
materials mods. And I've been to some vendors this week since Tuesday, and I saw 30, 40 mods in some vendors.
Wow.
Good lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just check.
The Enclave guy did have 3 XO1 mods, and he doesn't always have 3. So
Okay.
yeah.
Remind me, Jess. What is this plan? Will it just be called?
It would be, I believe, 105mm lens, but I doubt you can buy it at a vendor. I think that's gonna be.
I'm like Jess. I think it's unlikely, but
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to try something. I can't. I've got 15 out of 16 accomplishments out of this
Well,
battle.
and there's so many. There's so many challenges and badges that are dependent on having camera mods and stuff. You'll be hosed if you can't do it. So hopefully we can figure something out.
The most annoying part about the photography badge. Most of the stuff was really easy to take pictures of, but you had to get a picture of a cargo bot and a vertibot. The vertibot's not so bad. I went over to. Like I was mentioning, you got to get really up close to some of these things. So if it was just flying over your head in the sky, you were not close enough to take a picture of it. I would have to either put on my jetpack and my power armor and blast up in the air and take a picture of it that way. Or the other way I did it was go over to the power station over there on the west side of the map, and it has one of those vertibird pads, and you can repair it, and a vertibird will pop up out of nowhere, and
nice.
you can take a picture of it there just sitting on the ground. That I know you can take a picture of dead things, but it didn't seem like the wreck. I tried to take the picture of wreckage of a vertebrate, and that didn't seem to work.
Yeah, I think the vertebrate wreckage though may be more set dressing because you don't.
Yeah.
Because taking pictures of animals' corpses does work for sure.
Yes, it does.
I've done that many times.
Yes, yeah.
But I think like the vertibird, like on top of the Morgantown Airport or the one in Watauga, may be more just set dressing and not registered as a real bird. Yeah.
And the cargo bot was super annoying because it flies a lot faster, and it zooms by, and it's really quick, but it still is not close enough to you to take a picture of it just as it goes by over your head. I tried. I have half of my stupid fucking camera gallery is now filled up with like distant, just slightly too far distant shots of the cargo.
Didn't Pat use the one at Collision Course? Was that you?
No. I use Collision Course for the crossbow because it's an easy place to get a bunch of easy to kill scorched.
Well, I know a cargo bot comes and lands at Collision Course regularly when you finish the event.
And I wonder, I mean, it's a cargo bot, right? So you should be able to take a picture of the downed one from the surplus from the mission, from
the supply requisition.
Supply mission, yeah. Just fire up a supply mission, Andrew, and just let it crash.
Well, what I did, Pat, I went and kicked it off from the Enclave because I wanted nuclear launch code card.
That works, yeah.
So I was like, oh, 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll get a card and I'll take a picture of it at the same time. So what I do is I go off and I shoot this thing. And by the way, I'm still on this massive mission to petition Bethesda to make the cargo bot not as fucking difficult as the fucking Scorch Beast Queen to get out of the goddamn sky.
And rideable.
Jesus Christ. I hate that damn. It's like I go through 1,000 rounds of 45 getting a stupid fucking cargo bot out of the sky. It's ridiculous how hard those things are to kill. But anyway, so they're so far out of the range of the picture, I can't get a good shot of them. They zoom in. They're too fast. I don't get really close enough. I can't take a good picture. Okay, I'm going to summon it. Then I'm going to kill it. Then I'm going to take a picture of it when it's dead on the ground. Andrew's a fucking genius. Okay, 1,045 rounds later, the thing falls from the sky. I go up to take a picture of it, and it fucking disappears and turns into the leftover crate or whatever. The wreckage didn't stick around. I couldn't even take a fucking picture of the wreckage because as soon as it hit the ground, it turned into the crate you're supposed to look into. I was so fucking mad. It took me 30 minutes of shooting at this damn thing.
You're still
1,000 rounds.
You're still a genius for thinking of it, even if it didn't work.
It didn't fucking work. It disappeared. Where's the wreckage that sticks around? What were you talking about?
In chat, telling you to breathe. It'll be okay.
For the cargo bots, I didn't remember it, but now that because I saw last time I found a cargo bot by happenstance. I saw it happen, and the crate and the cargo bot are 2 separate things. And so what happens if you catch it right at the right moment? The crate lands and is permanent. the cargo bot sort of like tumbles away.
Yeah, it bounces and it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a drone, right? It's like a giant sized drone where it's
Exactly.
got the 4 little engines or whatever. Yeah. So I was thinking the same thing, and as soon as she said this, like, oh crap, they're separate things, because I've seen that happen.
Yeah. And people have been talking about a new Scorch Beast Queen thing where they get the crippling effect weapons, and then they use that on the wings of the Scorch Beast Queen. That'll make her land, and she doesn't get back up and fly away. Will crippling effect work on robots? Can I cripple the cargo bot and make
I think it does, but I think it's better if you have the targeting the bats, the like improved VATS that lets you target limbs. I think that's.
Hey, you know what? If only VATS would target a cargo bot, that would be great. VATS does not work. It will not lock onto that son of a bitch. I'm so mad.
It will, but you have to be really close and lucky.
It will? I've never got.
Oh, I've never gotten it to do it.
No, it will. I mean, no, yeah. I've done it with like a scoped rifle. I mean, it's not easy, and it doesn't stick very long, but it will lock on.
Does it matter if it's for a nuclear launch code or a U.S. supply requisition?
I've only shot at the launch code ones, because I've never tried to shoot a supply requisition. I always just let those fall to the ground.
Interesting. All right.
But the other thing is, you can. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I have seen key cards available for sale at player vendors. So I bought a couple of those that way.
And they're not like 2,000 caps. I think at the White Spring it's like 2,000 caps or something.
No, you can't buy them from the game vendors, I don't believe.
I thought you could.
I don't know.
I could be wrong about that.
No, the card that costs 2,000 is the ones that repeats the Imposter Sasquatch event.
Oh, okay.
But the ones I bought were 500. I was happy to pay it, because I agree with you. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, am I going to pay 500 caps for 1,000 rounds and a half an hour? Sure.
Yeah,
I gotta pay the 500 caps.
Exactly.
I'm baffled as to why it takes so fucking long to get those things out of the sky. Okay, let's check in with Freighter, you guys. Does anybody have anything we need to mention else on that before we hop in here to Fireball Freighter? Let's go ahead and see what Freighter has to say here.
Freighter here. For this set of tapes, I'll be checking out terminals in some of the private quarters. Looks like everybody's off to work, so this should be a good time to do this. AO quarters, private terminal. Institute Central Network. AO quarters terminal. Disable security safeguards. Warning. Security safeguards have been disabled. Your terminal's private data might be at risk. That appears to be everything on this terminal, so I'm not sure what's at risk. Benet Quarters Terminal. Institute Central Network. Benet Quarters Terminal. Fancy Lad Snack Cakes. It just doesn't make any sense. I've run the diagnostics, quadruple checked the neural mappings, done comparative analyses of taste buds, tracked digestive patterns. Hell, I've even gone so far as to simply ask several of them. And still, I'm no closer to answering the question. Why do Gen 3 synths like to eat Fancy Lads snack cakes? I mean, sure, they have the capacity to experience taste. Every Gen 3 possesses the synthetic equivalent of the requisite receptor cells. But why this? And why all of them? It's physically impossible for a Gen 3 to actually gain weight and succumb to obesity. Wouldn't that be quite the Achilles heel? Humanity's most impressive technological achievement, laid low by junk food. View access logs. Access log. Access local. Login. Benet A. Leisure program. Expert chest. Access local login. Benet A. Operation Music player, Trois Nocturnes. Access, local login, Benet A, leisure program, expert chess. Access, local login, Benet L, historical text, the history of the Commonwealth. Access, remote, synth retention main control, login, error, ID unknown, notes, error, record deleted. Okay, this one's different from the others. This one says father's terminal. Doesn't say whose father. Must be a priest or something. Institute, central network, director terminal 1A, status normal. Kellogg, Conrad, enhanced life expectancy. July 16th, 2285. Kellogg's occasional presence continues to unnerve the others. At first I thought they were merely intimidated by his confidence and arrogance, or perhaps even afraid of his general being. Kellogg is, after all, a killer, but as I've continued to witness their reactions, gauge their sidelong glances, I've detected something else, something I probably should have anticipated: jealousy. Kellogg is a living memorial to a forgotten program. He is an augmented human being, a cyborg really, and the benefits he has received cannot be denied. But really, the scientists here could not care less about enhanced reflexes or greater combat efficiency. No, the cause of their envy is something more practical, more primal, is enhanced life expectancy. Just how long will Kellogg live? If he passes naturally, however unlikely that may be, it's hard to say. He's already more than 100 years old, older certainly than any other human in the Commonwealth. His complete physiology has been altered. Perhaps he'll make it to 150, maybe even 200. Let the petty have their petty jealousies. Kellogg is a living testament to the ingenuity and superiority of the Institute, and I take no small pleasure in knowing that must irritate him to no end. Status reports. Bioscience. Hydroponics programs functional. FEV lab offline. Robotics. Synth output nominal. Production materials fully stocked. Advanced systems. Child synth project under quarterly review. Weapons diagnostics ongoing. Phase 3 behind schedule. SRB, Director Zimmer, still offline. Above ground operative terminated. Retention programs functional. Pattern recognition algorithms ineffective. Facilities, power output maxed. Air-water recycling systems functioning normally. Personal notes. The wait continues. AO can only confirm sightings outside Vault 111 and again in Diamond City sometime later. What that means, I'm not sure. Will we actually meet? Was this all for nothing? No, not nothing. I will have learned valuable things about myself, my past, either way. I cannot afford to let emotion get in the way. I must simply observe and record. I'm told Kellogg has gone offline. Strangely, I find myself thinking of Dr. Walker. He had such high hopes for Kellogg, such faith in the implants and what they could mean. I still regret eliminating that project, but I know where it would have led us. Walker was never shy about his goals, and too many others were starting to listen. In the end, I believe I was justified. The Institute is about preserving humanity, not some bizarre amalgamation of biology and technology. Okay, that's it for now. If I get any more private terminals, I'll send them in another tape.
Thank you, Freighter, for checking in and launching a fireball on the Institute. Quit your snooping, you little snoop. What are you doing? Those are private terminals down there. Thank you, Freighter, sir. Great to hear from you. Fallout Terminal Velocity. If anyone is interested, please contact Radioactive Rebecca, Fallout Terminal Velocity, at Outlook.com, and she will help you hook up with a few different destinations. You can go read some terminals and help us fill out our background history of the Fallout universe. Any Fallout game is totally open. If you're one of those, the Fallout 1 and 2, you know anything about those? There's got terminals you like? Please read those. That'd be awesome. Haven't heard any of those. We've had a couple of Fallout 3 so far, I think. Pat, I believe you sent in something for Ford. You're doing your Ford playthrough.
Yeah, I did a 3, and I did a New Vegas with Arthur. Yeah.
Very nice. Pat, would you like to go ahead and mention your just your playthrough, your ASA Let's Play for Fallout 3?
Oh yeah. I feel terrible. I shouldn't even talk about it because I'm so far behind in mixing. But yeah. So got Ford is out in the Capital Wasteland running through Fallout 3, playing around with Lincoln's repeater, and I think he has that in the ones I've dropped. I think he has that now. But yeah, there's actually a lot of Ford yet to come. I just haven't gotten to mixing it. Frankly, I've been spending time probably in Fallout 4 more than I should, but Fallout 76 rather. But yeah, so look for those. What I'm doing is dropping for those who are supporting the ASA Patreon. I'm dropping big batches. I think I dropped 8 last time in one big batch. I think a few of the listeners like to have that in binge mode, and then for everybody else on the free ASA Let's Play podcast stream, I'm dropping those once a week when I have my act together. And right now, unfortunately, I don't have my act together, but that's actually one of the things on my list to do this long holiday weekend to hopefully get back on track with getting some episodes mixed and getting Ford back out there into the wasteland.
Great. Well, Pat has done a few of these Let's Plays in the past, and his Arthur playthrough for New Vegas is constantly dropped in our group, and people, I don't know, I've seen people, it's like, oh, I'm going to go back and I'm on my 3rd listen through of Arthur. I'm on my 4th listen through of Arthur. Going to start Arthur again. So that one is very famous in our group. If you ever like listening to Let's Plays, that sort of thing, head on over to ASA Let's Play and your podcatcher. It's a separate podcast feed, but check out Pat. He's out on the adventure again in Fallout 3. So check out Ford's adventure. I'm sure it'll be just as riveting as
I don't know. There's a little something special about Arthur, but hopefully people are. I think the community's having a reasonably good time with Ford's adventures as well. Yeah. So I appreciate people tuning in and giving that a listen every now and then.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So thanks again for putting that together for us, Pat. Good job.
Yeah, and even if you've not typically liked Let's Plays in the past, give these a listen because Pat does such a good job of just very casual, fun. You really feel like you're playing in the game.
Yeah, it's not that's what I try to do is just make it's not a it's frankly not particularly character driven. I mean, it is a bit with Arthur, a little less so with Ford, but it's more just trying to think about playing a game together if we were sitting down and just chatting while we're doing a game. So I have a lot of fun doing it, and I'm glad folks are having a good time listening to those.
Yep. And if you've ever accidentally blown yourself up with an explosive weapon, Arthur is the listen for you.
Yeah, poor that poor man. No fingers left, definitely. Hey, we were talking a lot about Project Paradise earlier in the show. We should have dropped this in right when we were talking about that, but we'll send in a couple of audio feedbacks about the Project Paradise, the new Arctos Pharmacy dungeon event / quest / whatever the hell it is. So let's go ahead and check in with Will here.
Hello, all you wonderful Fallout people. Will here with some feedback for the appropriately named Project Paradise, because what Paradise isn't complete without a level 100 fog crawler. I happened to be off work when the new update was released, so Andrew asked me to chime in with a few words since I spent the day doing it as many times as I could. So, Project Paradise, the new dungeon geared towards high-level players. There's a recommendation when you enter that you be at least level 50, which seems about right since the lowest level enemy I saw in there was level 40, I think, and there's lots of enemies. To start it, you just go to Arctos Pharma and take the elevator down, and it'll trigger if it's not in a cooldown phase. But the cooldown phase seems to be pretty short. I was still in there one time from the first event trying to learn my way around and take pictures and stuff when it triggered again. So after it starts, you proceed to a terminal and initiate the experiment. The area is kind of a main chamber connecting 3 different habitats, all of which look really cool with waterfalls and new plants and stuff. So after initiating the experiment, you're directed to place ingredients, which are found in some of those plants and on some animals you have to kill, into a feeding trough for each of the 3 habitats to lure a friendly animal to it within a certain amount of time. There's a rating for up to 3 for the type of friendly animal it draws based on how many ingredients are put into the trough. And since you have to defend these friendly animals from attacks in the next phase of the event, you want to get to the 3rd rating to make your life easier. It's a difference from defending a tick or a bloatfly, which die very easily, versus defending a deathclaw, which is pretty capable of defending itself for a long while. So my recommendation on that is to go to the habitat with the most people in it and feed that trough to get to rank 3, and then move on to another habitat. That way you have at least 1 high-rated friendly animal before the time runs out.
Word.
Then the next phase, which is defending the friendly animals against 3 waves of enemies of all sorts, as gulpers and gutsies and assaultrons, etc. The 3rd phase is at least 1 alpha predator, but again, the quality of this alpha predator, and I think even the rewards given for completing the event, are determined by the quality of the friendly creatures still alive, assuming they haven't died yet and you failed the event. I know I was routinely getting level 100 3-star legendary sheep squatch and fog crawlers, and it is possible to get more than one of the 3-star legendaries on occasion. The guys are pretty tough, but hey, if you're in here, you're high level and you can handle it, right? I did see a level 12 person at the end of one of the events, but I can assure you all we're doing was hiding behind daddy with their hand holding onto his belt or something. But probably a good way to level up fast. I'm going to be doing the event quite a bit since it's fun and it's unique looking and quite a boon for XP and legendary drops with all those high level enemies. Some of the rewards I got for completing it was a plan for a new chem called Formula P, which I forgot everything it does, but I know it gives at least 5 charisma.
Wow.
Ingredients for it are plentiful throughout the dungeon. Some more rewards are stem pack diffusers and Arctos Pharma apparel.
There's
I
your
got this new weapon called a bear arm, which is pretty cool. It's basically the
Bear
skull of a
arms.
bear, or yaguai, I guess. Doesn't quite look like a yaguai skull, but I don't have my mammologist tadpole badge yet, so what do I know? It's worn like a gauntlet, and it makes a growling sound when you swing it. It's pretty powerful.
Whoa.
Not quite as powerful as the Deathclaw Gauntlet I usually use, but I do have the 3rd claw on my Deathclaw Gauntlet, and I haven't unlocked any upgrade for the Bear Arm yet, if
Nice.
there are any. So I'm not quite sure how powerful it can get. I think that's it. I really like the event. It's something new and has a slightly different feel from some of the other events. Plus, it was challenging, and my level 209 character died several times. But it was always easy to get right back inside and involved in the action. So I'm sure I forgot something, but that is the bulk of it. So goodbye, and I'll see you in the wasteland. Real quick follow-up after doing the event a bunch more times tonight. This time, many times on my own almost. I think Habitat B is my favorite one to go through if there's not many people with you, because that one, there's the toxic sludge you can collect off the ground, as well as mole rats that jump out. And so you can fill the troughs faster by yourself, as opposed to like one of the other habitats where you have to collect the venison off the rad stag and maybe wait for them to like appear and run all the way across and get it. So that's it.
Good to be, everybody. That seems to be the place to go. All right, Will. Thanks a lot for checking in. And gosh, it seems like he was doing it over and over again as like an assignment or something. That was awesome.
So remind me what platform Will is on? Is he on PC?
Yeah, he's a PS4. He's a PS4. He
PS4,
and Jen run around together a lot on the PlayStation there.
Okay, because I wonder he was talking about how easy it was to get back in, and I wonder if their PS4 is a skosh more stable than Xbox or PC because
Yeah.
I mean, not in other areas, but on this, maybe, yeah.
Oh yeah, specific on this area. That's what I'm wondering if it may be better for some reason.
Yeah. Did you mention your crashing issues earlier, Pat?
I thought I did, but yeah, the 2 times I tried to get into the event, once I froze, and another time I did just an absolute crash to the desktop, and I have not. My Xbox updated tonight, so I haven't tried since. So I had a full Xbox restart, so I haven't checked.
Xbox updated today too. It's been a long time since I've seen that sort of update. It was kind of different and weird to me. After Jess's explanation and now Will's analysis of the whole scenario, I think I understand the thing a little bit better. You got to find that terminal to spark it off. That's probably first and foremost.
Nice. I had 2 takeaways from that I wanted to underline too.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if what you had to collect and put in the hopper varied each time. It sounds like they are static. That habitat A will be the radstag venison, habitat B the toxic sludge, and C the ferns or whatever it is. And then I also want to mention he talked about the mole rats in habitat B. What he's talking about is when you kill the mole rats, they sometimes have toxic sludge on them. So you're mining the toxic sludge, but you're also getting it from the enemies you kill. So that's why it goes up faster.
Nice. Perfect. And Will, you said you were down there by yourself attempting, did you actually succeed, complete the thing by yourself? And did you only do B, and did you get it up to 3 stars? And then if you're successful, did you only get 1 3-star legendary monster? And did you kill him? And what cool thing did you get?
Inquiring minds, but he was probably busy taking pictures.
Yeah, no shit. He's like, oh, well, I was down there, taking pictures. One event ended and I was down there long enough to make it start again. Yeah, Will, you took like 300 pictures. That's what you were doing. It was really 3 hours that you were down there, man. It just passed time because I know what you're up to with that camera out. But the time just slips away.
Ooh, speaking of cameras, I don't know if you saw, Pat and I noticed in chat, Jerry did just complete the camera during the show tonight while we were playing Will's Feedback.
Okay.
Or just before. And he said you do get a plan. So it is a physical plan that you have to read, or it was on his character.
I either dropped it or sold it, or I need to read it, or maybe I just need to read it. Maybe I just need to read it. All right, I'm going to go look at the stash.
Check your notes. Yeah, check your notes.
Yeah. All right, okay. I just put it down somewhere, probably, I hope. I didn't sell it or get rid of it or something.
Jerry's derping around with Sergio tonight on his level 11. So he's trying to go to all those locations in the mire to finish the bucket list quest on a level 11 character.
Oh, wow.
They're living dangerously.
Dang.
Well, you brought up Sergio. He was talking about we were talking about grilling a lot in the group the other day. So I thought Jess brought it up that might be a good regional food podcast thing to discuss. But before we get deep into that, I was going to ask Ray. You've been all over the damn country, mainly Southwest, and then come across about the Northwest and back across. Has there been any since the sopapillas in was that Texas that you did?
Yeah.
San Antonio or something. Do you you visited family? You went back to places back home. What are the regional foods of America that have you discovered anything? Are there any cool little things that you asked people about while you were doing it? I saw that you went to the Wall Drugs, that the world's biggest tourist trap or whatever. So what regional foods are you coming across? Any weird stuff? Any like really strange things? You're like, oh, weird because I know you're sort of an adventurous eater. Have you come across anything?
Well, so to start, I got a message from Justin Smith from the group, who lives in Southern California, and he went to Ancho's, the restaurant that I talked about, that I always have to go to whenever I'm in Southern California.
Yeah,
And so he said he really enjoyed it and plans on going back again.
that's great.
So
Awesome.
that was good to hear. Um, so mostly I've been just going back to foods that I can't normally get at home, that I love a lot. Um, I did um, when we stopped for dinner just at the South Dakota border in Vermilion, which is, I guess, where the University of South Dakota is. We stopped at a little college bar, and they had a pizza that was just killer. So
Oh,
it had,
in the Dakotas, nonetheless.
yeah, so it had chorizo, andouille, jalapenos, um, Hungarian banana peppers, and some mama somebody's special red pepper concoction,
Oh goodness.
and spicy pizza sauce.
Well, that sounds crazy spicy already. Okay? So wait, chorizo. That's a Mexican sausage,
Yep.
spiced with. That's not chipotle, is it? What is the chorizo spiced with?
Usually some pasilla and guajillo chilies.
And then andouille, which is a French sausage, correct?
Well, Cajun.
Okay. Oh, that's what I meant. Like Louisiana French is what I meant, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is cross cultures even too.
Yeah, it was a big mashup. Basically, it was a bunch of college kids trying to make a pizza as hot as they absolutely could.
And you're a hot guy.
I love smoking hot food.
You're a spicy guy.
And this one definitely lived up to it. I mean, it lit me up good. So that was fun. That was unexpected.
Yeah, that okay. Okay, I'm from Indiana, so pardon the insult, South Dakota. But that really surprises me that you had an awesome, inventive, really creative, out of the box pizza in South Dakota.
Yeah, well, you never know where you're going to find it.
That's true.
I mean, it wasn't North Dakota, so.
Oh yeah, God, piss poor pizza in North Dakota. Everybody knows that.
I can't even imagine what would have happened if I had tried to go to North Dakota. I mean, South Dakota was such a absolute disaster.
Let's hear about it because I know it was horrible for you, but I just couldn't help but chuckle.
So when I was putting the trip together, one of the things that I really wanted to do, because I'd never done it before, is go to Mount Rushmore.
Of course, nation's gem, Mount Rushmore, one of our great national parks, of course.
And so, I got it all scheduled in, got a great hotel there just outside the park, and
remind our UK and Australian listeners, anybody who doesn't know what Mount Rushmore is, remind them what the actual feature is of the park.
Well, so from what I understand, it's a rock relief.
From what he understands. All right.
It's a big rock that a guy carved 4 presidential heads into.
Yeah, like the 4 quintessential famous American presidents that everybody knows.
Yeah. And so, we had a great visit in Oregon, and we drove across beautiful Cascade Mountains. And
Every day you're uploading a batch of pictures, like 7 or 8 pictures or 10 pictures, just about all these great places you've seen, the beauty, the features, all the great variants of things you're experiencing every day. It's been very nice to follow the trip. Every day you have a nice batch of pictures.
We drive through the through the edges of Yellowstone, and have a nice night in Billings, Montana, and say, okay, here we go. We're off to Mount Rushmore. This is going to be great.
Oh, awesome. Can't wait. Love Mount Rushmore. Can't wait to see it with your eyes and just absorb all the visions and just see it and get it right up in there so your brain can remember it all.
And so, we had to take a quick little side trip. So my wife and I are fans of the TV series Longmire. And so
I saw you post about that. Real quick, I'm not exactly sure. Is Longmire sort of like the modern Western that Patton Oswalt made cameos in? Was that him? Was that show?
I don't
something else.
remember with him in it.
Okay, that could have been something. Sorry, go ahead.
But anyway, so it's set in Durant, Wyoming, which is a fictitious town in a fictitious county, but the actual place is Buffalo, Wyoming, where the writer of the series, wrote the books from.
Okay.
And so we went to the Busy Bee Cafe, which is prominent in the show and everything. We had a nice day.
Same name. Do they film the show there?
I don't remember if they actually filmed the show there or not, but probably. The whole town is all about Longmire.
That's nice.
So we start up into the Black Hills, and we start getting snow flurries.
Yeah, and remind us where you are from, where you live now.
So I live in Atlanta.
And where did you grow up?
Southern California.
And your snow driving experience?
I went to Minnesota once and Alaska once. But we're cruising along. Everything's great. The roads, are still clear, and but as we go along, it's snowing harder. The clouds are lower, and so we finally get to Mount Rushmore, and it's snowing pretty good now. And I hike up the 100 yards or so to the stone relief to see, and I can barely make out the shadow of the rocks in the outline in the clouds.
You see the silhouettes of the heads. You can't even fucking see the thing.
And it's only a few yards away from you, but I mean, it was just absolutely socked in. And
middle of a fucking snowstorm. What day was it? It was late May, right?
Yeah, it was just last Monday.
Yeah, Lord. A blizzard conditions, visibility less than a quarter mile in South Dakota in late May.
Yeah. And so we go to the hotel. Okay, great. We'll ride this out. It'll clear up tomorrow, I'm sure. We'll head back up the hill. And so we get up Tuesday morning, and now there's 6 inches of snow on the ground. And so the hotel that we stayed in doesn't even open in the winter because they don't want to deal with the snow. So
they're buried. Yeah, they can't open because they can't afford the plow bills.
Yeah, so they had nothing, in the way of snow dealing. The power went out, and the visibility was even lower than it was the evening before.
Oh my God.
So we just said, okay, forget it. And made it down the hill, without any trouble. Thankfully, my new car is an all-wheel drive.
Yeah, I was going to say you got a new car not too long ago after the retirement, or maybe right before your retirement. I think in the plans,
Yeah,
you got a new vehicle, and you have this really cool system where you set up this like dog hammock sling where you had to set up this whole thing in between your headrest you told us about, and you took your dog on like a test drives and stuff.
Yeah.
How's that been working out? The dogs on their hammock.
They've been having a great time. They're back there lounging and cuddle up in the blankets. And
I met both your pups today. Lovely animals. They're not exactly the tallest creatures. How did they act with 6 inches of snow on the ground that dogs from Georgia probably aren't used to?
Well, so Jojo wouldn't even get out of the car. Monkey jumped out, hit the snow, and immediately jumped back in.
Fuck this.
And, don't worry, we'll go to the bathroom next week.
Yeah, we'll cross our little puppy legs when the snow melts. Oh, jeez.
So Mount Rushmore was a bust, and then just to grind salt into the wounds, we had about 60-mile-an-hour winds and driving rain all the way across the entire state of South Dakota.
Yeah, you said you had sideways rain, which in my mind brings up that scene in Forrest Gump where he's talking about when he was in Vietnam. All the you got the sideways rain, the rain that comes straight up from underneath. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's hilarious, Ray. I'm so sorry that happened, but it is so funny.
Yeah, so it's one of those things when you're traveling. I mean, crap, I will have been gone for 6 weeks.
That's
you
another thing.
Gotta have something in there.
That's another thing. 6 weeks is that. When I was a kid, I think I mentioned this last time. We're talking about Maine and stuff. My parents they're both teachers, so we'd had a nice long summer off. So we'd all go camping every summer. We'd just get 6 weeks gone. And I don't know how my parents did it. I don't know how you do it. I am such a homebody that I'm it's like I would be itching after a week vacation away from home. I'm kind of ready to be home.
So I mean, it's been great. It's really so the trip. It was about getting out and seeing people who we hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Getting to spend time with friends and family. So it's all been worth it, and it's really just now this as we start getting closer, and we had last week I was thinking about we'll just go another couple of days. But now getting in and out of the car every day, it's getting a little tougher. So it's about time to head home.
I'm not a road trip guy. I traveled a lot by air back in the day. I know you did for work, Ray. You traveled a ton, but it doesn't seem to bother you. You seem to be able to hop in the car and just kind of go. You said you used to drive some crazy thousands of miles a week for your job, and I know you had to fly a bunch and stuff too. That's just crazy. If I had to do so much for work, it just takes the fun out of it for pleasure.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more fun for pleasure than it is for work. So
yeah, definitely. I don't know if you ever flew enough to get that sort of mindset. Did you ever see Up in the Air?
No.
And I know one of my buddies.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's a George Clooney movie where he just travels for business. He lives basically in a hotel. He doesn't even have an apartment because he travels every day and he's a salesman. Basically, he's just on the road all the damn time. It's just just that whole mindset of travel. It's not something I can wrap my mind around. I'm such a roots in the ground type of guy. Everyone talks about in this modern world, you got to have a nice, it's spontaneous. I want a guy who's spontaneous and we can just up and go. So that's not me, ladies, and I'm taken anyway. But I'm not the spontaneous guy. Yeah. All right, Ray, you're heading home now. Last leg of the trip.
Yes, indeed.
And then we'll get to our special respec special that we've been talking about for weeks now, right? We've been teasing this damn thing for 2 months probably. Past level 50, you get to start crashing in your cards. So we'll talk about different builds, what cards you can get, when you should start looking for them, at what level they'll start producing, spawning randomly, and be available to you. So we'll go over that sort of thing here in a couple weeks after Ray gets settled in. Next week, I believe we got Shalene, right? We mentioned that. Super excited. She's going to E3. That's so awesome. How does she get access to that? She's the best. Super excited to have Shalene on the show. We're going to talk about E3 predictions. And then I figured, we got to either have her write in after, send us in some voicemail, or have her back on the show again to see if any of her hopes and dreams and wishes about E3 are, if anything came to fruition after the fact.
Yeah. And we'll hear all about it on that Fallout show.
Oh, absolutely, definitely check in on that Fallout show after she returns. See who else we have coming up on the show. Oh, Laura, aka Susan from Vault 97, West Vault Radio. She'll be coming in on, I think, the 13th. Is that right? The 13th of June, here in a couple weeks. And then I believe after that, we're going to start rolling characters here before too long for season 8 of the Fallout Roundtable. So that's going to be coming up the next couple of weeks, guys. Really excited. Good couple of shows coming up. But in the plans for tonight's show, we had a newlywed game. Ray just finally came over, saw our house that we got. Ray, how do you like our newlywed house? Is it okay?
It's very comfortable.
Okay, great. I'm glad you're comfy, honey. But we better go ahead and get into this newlywed game. I know that Sarah had sort of taken some reins. I think Sarah and Jess were going to ask us some questions. We did this newlywed game a few episodes ago with Clint and Charlene, and that was a really good time. That was really fun to have. So,
yeah, we definitely have a high bar to hit.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're not technically, married, Ray, but we have been in a close relationship for the past, I don't know, what is it, 3-4 years now? Probably at least 3. We've been podcasting a lot together here. So we should know a decent amount about each other's play style. So we had Sarah and Jess sort of form some questions. And let's go ahead and launch the show here. Let's play the newlywed game and see what sort of questions that Jess and Sarah set up for us here. Sarah, would you would you like to sort of explain how we're going to play tonight and what's going to happen here?
Sure. So I am going to ask a question to each of you, and each of you are going to guess how each other answered. So we have your answers for yourselves here, so we can make sure you aren't in cahoots, because I know you've been plotting since Ray came into your basement.
Yes.
So we have your answers from a couple weeks ago. So do you have the answers in front of you, Jess?
I do. Yep. Already.
Perfect. Okay. So I'll ask the questions, if that's okay, and then you can tell us what the answers are. Sound good?
That is perfect.
Did I explain that well? It's kind of confusing.
So
y'all will get it.
I'm gonna have to guess what Ray
said.
Answered. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think I did answer that a couple weeks ago, but I'll answer that again. But my answers might have changed from what
That's okay.
answered.
That's okay. We're only looking at your answers. So Ray can just guess off the cuff what you said, but we have the answers for you here.
Okay.
So you're just going to tell me what you think Ray said.
All right. Sounds good.
And then we'll ask each of you. All right. So the first question is, what was the subject of the first show you did together? Andrew, what do you think Ray said?
Well, if I remember, I would hope he would say something like Fallout Roundtable Season 3. Something like that. Roundtable Season 3.
All right. Jess, what did he say? What did Ray say? And Ray said?
Ray said New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Wah, wah, wah.
What season was that? Was that 4?
I don't remember which season it was.
That might count. You say wah wah wah, but what was the content of season 3? Was that new? That couldn't have been New Vegas. There's probably
no. New Vegas was.
Don't be that
5.
guy.
5.
It.
All right, I'm off by 2 seasons.
3 was Fallout 4.
New Far Harbor, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so I messed that up.
Okay. Well, Ray, what do you think Andrew said?
Fallout 4.
That is correct.
Oh, all right.
He said, actually, wait, no, that is, God, I'm not good at this either. Sorry. He actually said the Far Harbor Roundtable.
But it was the New Vegas Roundtable.
What was it? I don't know.
Is that what you said? You said New Vegas?
That's what I said. That's what I thought we
Yeah.
That's where I thought we started.
I don't know what the real answer is either. We could go back and look.
So does that mean no one got points, or did Ray get that right because he said Fallout 4?
It was technically Fallout 4, so I think that would be correct.
All right.
Give Ray a point.
All right.
Okay.
Andrew 0, Ray 1.
Gonna
All
start
right.
marking them down.
Please.
Also, I'm gonna pull up. I got some soundboard sounds here that I was trying to play, but that's why I was having trouble with the answers because I was jumping back and forth. So I'm gonna open a second screen.
Okay. All right. Andrew, what do you think Ray said when we asked him, what is your co-host's favorite Fallout game?
So
So
Ray's
Ray,
answer is my Andrew's
Yeah.
favorite Fallout 4. Fallout 4.
correct.
Correct.
All right. Ray, same question for Andrew.
Fallout 4.
Also correct. Soundboard not working. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
Ding, 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 ding. All right. So what's the score?
That
Two.
is
Andrew 1, Ray 2, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, Andrew, what is Ray's favorite companion in Fallout 4?
I would say none.
Oh, that is correct.
Nicely done.
Yep.
Ray, same question for Andrew.
Dog meat.
Wow. You know what? I think you guys are gonna have wedded bliss for a while. That was
Yes.
also correct.
Attaboy, Ray.
There you go.
With no hesitation even from either of you.
I must like my doggo.
I guess so, huh?
And you had so many companions to choose from.
Yeah, I had like 18 of them around the camp usually.
Yeah.
Camp. I'm calling it camp, you guys.
I know what you
Settlement,
meant.
come on.
I know. All right, Andrew, what would you say is Ray's favorite camp in 76? Favorite place to camp?
Favorite place to camp. The cliffs above White Spring.
That is correct. He wrote The Savage Divide.
Nicely done.
By any other name.
Ray, same question for Andrew.
Toxic Valley.
Incorrect. He is actually still happy with his tiny house in the ash pile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ash pile. Ash heap.
Ash pile.
All right. This is a good one.
Still fun.
Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew, your co-host magically receives $100,000 in Fallout 76 and can buy anything in the game. What does he buy?
Nothing. He doesn't care about the atomic shop.
Correct.
Oh man. Ray, you can just give all those caps to me if you want.
Okay.
All right, Ray, what does Andrew buy?
Everything holiday.
Oh boy.
That is a good answer. That is, he actually probably had a better answer than I did.
I feel like that's a good point. That's a good half point answer. What did you actually put, Andrew? Do you remember?
Probably something about headwear or Max.
Fancy headwear. But I'm giving him 0.5 because most of that headwear is holiday related.
Yeah, nipple
That's true.
hats and such.
Nipple hats. You and your dang nipple hat. All right. This is actually going pretty well. You guys know each other pretty well so far. And Andrew, what would you say, what would your co-host say is the best part of podcasting?
Community.
That is correct. That is what Ray said is.
Nice.
Perfect. Thanks, Ray. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ray, what did Andrew say?
Community.
So correct. Match
I
made.
agree.
That is the best part of podcasting.
I totally agree with you
All the
guys. I love
fat
this
stacks of
community.
cash we get paid. I mean, right?
Yeah, I know. I know.
The
I'm gonna miss this paycheck.
Benjamins, yeah. Sarah's gonna miss that 25% commission check on
Yeah,
the
man.
podcast money. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, what would your co-host say is the worst part of podcasting?
Before he retired, I would say lack of beauty sleep on Thursday nights is problematic for his work job on Fridays.
Final answer?
Lack of sleep or late night recording schedule, something like that.
Wah wah. Ray actually said organizing.
Oh yeah, okay. Specifically about our show would probably be the time we record, but in general, I see the conversations about booking, and it gets ridiculous sometimes. That we're like, how about Saturday? No, I can't. Sunday, Wednesday. No, the Wednesday after that. No, I've got a softball game. No, I can't do that. It's ridiculous. That is one of the reasons why the Fallout feed has a set time every week, just so
That's
people
nice.
can know when it's going to have, so we don't have to do that headache. Ray, that is the best answer. Scheduling podcasting is fucking ridiculous. You see memes out there about groups who play D&D trying to
Yeah.
get together, and they never can get together because like, oh yeah, Wednesday's great for me. Me too. No, I've got something going on. So it always falls apart. But you're
Right.
exactly right, Ray. Scheduling is absolutely the worst part of podcasting.
Well, I hope you said that because that's what I said you said.
I don't know. See, I took it out of the Fallout feed. It's not even a consideration anymore for this podcast because we do it at the same time every week. So scheduling isn't a big deal to me for this show.
So with that in mind, then Ray, what would you say? Andrew would say the worst thing was.
Well, so what I said he would say was organizing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he actually put TalkShoe, dealing with TalkShoe.
Ugh.
Do you remember TalkShoe, Ray?
Do you remember TalkShoe? We all remember TalkShoe.
TalkShoe. God damn. Yeah, sometimes the technical aspects of podcasting can get a little annoying too.
They did you a little dirty, huh?
Getting things to update, of like, well, and our recent technical issues. I should have said technical issues instead of TalkShoe, because our recent thing, where we lost a good 30 to 40% of our listeners because Buzz whatever lost its feed, and whoever was using this certain pod feed, like they just stopped getting our podcast altogether, so we had to redo the RSS feed and do that, and like we lost a good 30% of our listeners because of that, and a lot of them just never figured out. They just thought we stopped doing the show because things were stopped posting, and I posted so many times all over the place where I could find it, and we talked on the show, but if they're not getting the show, they can't hear where to get the show, you know?
Right.
Luckily, it's pinned on. You got it pinned on the Twitter now.
Yeah, it's now pinned on Twitter and Facebook, so we have got a few people trickle back in and be like, "Oh, I thought you guys were done." I'm like, "No, we're not.
No, we're never done."
Like someone's like, "Oh shit, I got like 14 episodes to listen to." It's like, "Yeah, catch up. Let's go."
Yeah, they're 3 hours long each, so
They've been getting long since Ray
get it
retired,
together.
huh? Yeah. All right. So no, I got that one wrong. Sorry.
All right, Andrew, what one word best describes your co-host? So what did Ray say about you?
Let's see.
What would Ray say is one word that best describes you?
Cal Ripken-esque is not a word. Like maybe doing it every week. Let's see. How about dedicated? Something like that.
He said inquisitive.
Inquisitive. Oh, that's also good. Yeah, because I know nothing, so I ask a lot of questions. That's a good answer.
All right. Ray, what did Andrew say about you?
Well, so I couldn't figure out what the best adjective to describe the fact that I have almost 70 characters in Fallout 4. So I said fickle.
That is the exact opposite. He gave you consistent.
Wow.
Oh.
Fickle in game, but consistent with the podcast.
Yeah. I meant when's the last time Ray missed a damn episode? He's traveling across the fucking country and he's still making every episode.
You know what it is? It's the love.
It's the community.
The love. It's the two of you, you know? Brings you together.
I need my Andrew time.
We're gonna
Right?
we're gonna renew our vows after this, everybody.
Yeah, I like it. He would drive through a snowstorm for you, Andrew.
He ignored presidents' faces for
And
me.
he has no snow driving experience.
That poor
That's
puppy.
love.
6 inches of snow.
Yeah. He made icicles out of his puppies for you.
He did snow angels and wrote Andrew in the snow.
I mean, if we had that much snow in Atlanta, the city would shut down for a month.
Your one snowplow would have a hard time keeping up.
There's no way Atlanta has a snowplow. They have a snowplow?
They have one, I think. I think I've read that somewhere.
Well, yeah, mostly we just borrow them from Tennessee.
Yeah, they actually. I remember my cousin in Atlanta telling me that they had to ship down salt and plows when Atlanta had a significant snow at one point, and
But
it'll shut the whole city down. But Tennessee,
how do they do that if the roads aren't plowed?
they plow them on the way down. I don't know.
Whoa.
Snow plows all the way down.
Yeah,
I guess so. They just drive them down, drive the snowplows down there.
yeah, and they're heavy as shit, so that's a lot of gas too. It probably
Yeah,
paid
dude.
a pretty penny to rent those damn things.
Yeah.
Lord.
All right, Andrew, what is one item in the Fallout series that Ray absolutely cannot live without?
One item in the Fallout series Ray absolutely cannot live without. Gosh, what is that perk called in 4 that lets you dash across in vats and across a long distance? What is that perk called?
Blitz.
Blitz. I'm going to answer Blitz.
Blitz is not an item. Ray said melee weapon.
Well, that's melee.
Yeah, Blitz is integral to a melee.
Okay, but it's not an item. Okay, so yeah, so then I would have said
Okay, point one.
Cabot's knife or something. Is it Cabot?
Okay.
No.
Mm-mm.
Whose knife is that?
From the creepy guy. Pikmin. Yeah,
Pikmin. Yeah, Pikmin's blade. That's what I would have said.
Pikmin's blade. Oh, that's a good blade. Oh man, I miss the Pikmin gallery.
Yeah, we're having lots of Fallout 4 love here.
Yeah, I miss Fallout 4.
That's a great game.
I'm trying to convince my mom to buy a PS4 so she can play.
Don't get too excited, Will and Jen, but I was looking on Craigslist for PS4.
Do it. If you do it, I'll do it.
I got my PS3 used on Craigslist for like $100 a few years after it was released, and PS4's been out a few years now. I could probably find a decent deal on one on Craigslist. There's always people on getting rid of those.
I'm going to have to mail Jen an extra Xbox or something just to subvert these plans.
No, I'd love, Will and Jess. Jess, God, sorry. Will and Jen, get yourself some Xbox love. Join us up. So fun.
You guys don't do that. Get it on PC.
PC, Master Race. And you should have seen Ray with controller in his hand today. It's like he has no idea what is happening.
I wish that you would have taken a video.
Where's my mouse?
See, this is the real PvP. We got the console wars in 6.
And if we hadn't had technical problems setting everything up down here, we would have had time. We're maybe going to do some Twitch streaming of Ray doing his opposite, using a controller, and me trying to figure out the keyboard. Like, I'm sure me trying to figure out the keyboard will be just as hilarious as him trying to use the controller.
As I can't get myself unstuck from that corner because I can't tell which way I'm going.
There's a couple of times I just see him looking at the sky, spinning circles. I'm like, oh, hey, Mo used to do that. Oh, great. More questions?
Okay, Ray, what is one item in the Fallout series that Andrew absolutely cannot live without?
I went with combat rifle.
Oh, beautiful. That is correct.
Nice, Ray. Good job.
Wow. That's impressive.
Now, I almost went more specific. I almost said radium rifle. I remember that. But I was like, oh, no. I do like to use the general combat, too. So good job, Ray. That's awesome.
Nice. All right, Andrew. Ray must set up his specials. Which one does he max out first?
Oh, strength. Absolutely strength.
No. Ray said agility.
What? 4. Your sneak?
Snake.
Sneak? Your melee weapons. Strength. Come on.
Very, very sneaky.
All right, I'm sorry. I was all like cocky about that.
I know. He's changing.
Yeah.
He's changing.
Yeah,
I like it.
I should have known sneak. That was my bad. Yeah.
Ray, what about Andrew? What does he max out first?
Perception.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think everyone knows that one.
I'm a VATS guy. What can I say?
Alrighty. Last two questions. Andrew, you two are out together in the wasteland. Who leads? What would Ray say?
Ray would say I would lead, I think.
That is correct. Andrew would lead so he can sneak attack.
And Ray, what would Andrew say?
Ray, so that we don't get lost.
I do get lost all the damn time.
Andrew actually said work together. But that's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yes. I just expected Ray to say like answers contrarily somehow. You know what I mean? To not have a solid one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we both take the lead at some point.
All right. So where are our points at?
Points are at 6.2 for Andrew and 7.5 for Ray.
The Russian judge gives a 9.2.
That was for Blitz. That was for Blitz.
Okay. So Ray is going to win at this point.
All right. Andrew, what would Ray say? You come upon the chem station in Diamond City. Which chem is Ray going to make? What would Ray say?
Well, okay. My instinct to go strength for the thing would have been like buff out or something. But now that I know he's thinking agility and sneak, is there a sneaky chem? Is there a harder to detect chem? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Well, you're on. Keep thinking. You know what? Hints. Keep thinking agility. You can do it. What chem do we have in 76?
Well, it wouldn't be jet. I really want to say buff out or buff tats, but I know that's not right. I need to stay away from the strength. No, agility. So, what would he want it for? Would he want it? I can't even think of anything. There's not an invisibility. There's not a sneak.
Okay.
I can't for that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have an
Can't
answer.
come up with a reason for him to take a chem. Why else might he want one?
He would sell it, but he doesn't care about selling things.
And Ray, you said
Jet, so I could sell it.
Yeah, so it would be jet. Huh. Is jet the most expensive? You get the most return?
Well, it's good
Yeah.
return. It's also easy to make.
Yeah, it's just plastic and fertilizer.
Yeah,
Okay.
plastic.
Poop and plastic.
Poop and plastic. You can do it all in Sanctuary.
I'm giving you 0.5 for this so he can sell it.
All right, Ray. What is Andrew going to make?
I said Jet, so he can sell it.
Andrew said none. He wasn't thinking big picture there.
I don't make chems.
Yeah.
I don't seriously. Have I made one in 76? Probably not.
I don't think I have
I
either.
don't know. I don't know how.
Oh, I have.
And a lot of the time, like the daily challenges or whatever, is like craft 5 stem packs or whatever. It's like, no, not gonna do it. I don't know how. It's like do I have the recipe? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, I dilute them and sometimes I make route away.
Oh, did the diluted ones count for the challenges? That's smart. Because you just take one and divide it into 2. Does that count for making 2 then? Gosh.
Actually, I don't know about that part.
I think that counts as 1, but I think it counts.
Nice.
I make a ton of chems, so
yeah, Pat's good at that. I'm not so much. Don't. Yeah, I just never think to take them. I pick them up all the time when I find them, but I usually either just give them away or sell them or actually sometimes I just end up dumping them in bags. I'm really bad about that. I know everyone like does their loop, the White Spring, the vendors and stuff like that. I was like, oh, it only takes a few seconds. I just don't. I don't know why. Jess and I were kind of talking about that the other day. You don't concern yourself a ton with doing the daily loop, right?
No, not some on the caps. No, not like a lot of our friends do. Cranking out the outfits or
Yeah.
I scrap more stuff for building than I do sell. But at least once a week I do the loop, and then of course when my stash gets too full. But I would say it's a match between you guys. We have final score: Andrew 6.7 to Ray 7.5.
Hey, let's get those vowels renewed, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, I wasn't too bad. I think that turned out okay. That's a fun game.
This weekend is a fun game.
I still have to lodge a protest because nobody asked about making whoopee. So
I missed an opportunity there, didn't I?
totally.
Bummer.
What's your favorite favorite Fallout 4 settlement for making whoopee?
Where's the strangest? What's the strangest place where you made whoopee, Pat?
In the butt, Bob.
In the butt, Bob.
What's that perk called when you lay down with your
Lovers
lover?
Lovers embrace, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Lovers embrace. Me and Preston.
Me and
We
Ray.
got the lovers embrace going on.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. We have another game lined up if people are interested to get into the Damashek game here in a little bit. Ray, we got over. Was there any other food you wanted to mention? You got the pizza from North Dakota or South Dakota. Any others? Did Oregon? What kind of food? Did you find anything interesting in Oregon?
Oregon, I got my halibut.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned the halibut.
So definitely had to have a halibut while I was there.
Wonderful.
Somewhere out there, I think it might have been Montana. I had a bison burger.
Oh yeah,
tasted a lot like elk.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna ask, did you get some sort of buffalo, bison, and beef, some sort of? They like to do all sorts of.
Yeah, I had to do that when I was in Montana.
Very nice. And we have a buffalo ranch in Indiana that seems to be a Western animal, but they are starting to make them here. We're doing beefalo here in Indiana. So I think that they crossbreed the animal, which
wait, what?
It turns out it's a like a mule. You know what a mule is, a cross between a donkey and a horse, but the offspring is infertile, so it can't breed itself again. And more generation, but you can get one extra generation of crossbreeding. So they have beefalo, cross between beef and buffalo. It's a little fattier than buffalo because I think buffalo is really lean, so it's hard to make burgers and stuff out of it because it falls apart a lot in patty form. So if you add a little bit of beef fat to it, you can actually get it to stick together a little more. But I've had like bison chili, delicious, very good stuff. You ever eaten bison?
I haven't.
Buffalo, same difference?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think I've had bison chili.
It's very good.
And that beef sounds one step closer to Brahmin. So
it's true.
Ribeye.
Beefalo, man, that's one step closer to Brahmin.
If only. All right. Well, Pat, would you do me a favor and tell me about your daily selling loop? You said, it doesn't take too long. You just crank out this and that and the other. Could you tell us about what plans you have, how you get those plans, and then what products you make, and then what you do to sell, and that whole thing? We just give a little lesson on that.
Sure. It's not as effective as it used to be because a couple of patches ago, they lowered the return you get from the easiest outfits, but it's still pretty good. So I have 4 different things I make, depending on what I have in my stash. I have the skeleton, the Halloween costume skeleton, which you get from the trick or treater. which spawns a few different places, but I think the one we've talked about the most and it's easiest to get to is the dam out in the mire, because you fast travel to the dam, you turn right, and the trick-or-treater, if he's there, is within just a few steps. And so there's trick-or-treater that can spawn either the witch costume or the skeleton costume. And then you can also find the Civil War reenactor who will give you the Civil War, the Confederate hat, the Civil War era top hat, or the Civil War era dress. And the scale of all those, the skeleton's the best. So with charisma, 6 charisma, great mentats, party boy, beer, and hard bargain 3, I can sell that for 30 caps.
Nice.
And so for the 1400 caps and super duper, of course, super duper, so I can crank out, depending on how much cloth I have in my inventory, I can sometimes crank out enough of one of those to just chew through 1400 caps in one vendor session. Other times I get like 500 or 600 from that. It kind of depends on how much cloth I have and like if I've bought some bulk cloth cheaply or not or whatever. So that's the first. I burn through as much of that as I can because that's the absolute fastest way. And then my secondary backup is I go to some place like West Tech or Harper's Ferry, where there's a decent number of super mutants, and I grab their assault rifles and charging laser rifles, and I sell those until I burn through the vendor caps, and then I scrap the rest because the charging laser rifles with scrapper gives you 10 plastic, so those are actually really useful to scrap.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot. That's great.
So that's, and I just kind of go. It kind of depends on where I finish the game last. I will, obviously, if you have any with the way the vendors work now, it's easy. But with for the rifles, it just kind of depends on where I wind up. And so I do the and I know Eric likes one of the marine. There's a marine armor piece. I think it's maybe the marine armor helmet, which I don't have a plan for. It also sells for a very good return. So, Jess, do you have that one?
I think correct.
No, I don't. But he definitely says it's the helmet that he does.
Yeah. So that one works well. And then the other thing, so my other daily round is I always do the White Spring. So at least once. Sometimes they'll server hop and do it a few times. But my White Spring run is golf course, start at the front door near the tennis court, clean out the top level, go down to the bottom level. Sometimes the bottom level ghouls will come upstairs. Sometimes they won't. It depends. Clean that out. Grab all the stuff. Oh, that's the other thing. If you hit the White Spring when it's completely refreshed, you can get about 10 golf outfits, which sell for 30 as well. So that's the other thing. You can get anywhere from 3 to 10 golf outfits from the White Spring. Plus, it's just, you guys, everybody knows the White Spring, right? So that's my route. I go out the back, then I circle around, do all the cabins and shops and everything around the outside, into the middle where I drink from the gazebo, and then I go into the White Spring shops to use the stashes and all the other stuff. And I usually fast travel over the Enclave to check out that vendor and see if I can get any XO1 mods or any of the good stuff that's in the Enclave vendors. So that's kind of my daily. Like I start with that, and it takes, I don't know, half an hour maybe. So if I have like no time to do anything but just a half hour, I'll come and do that, clean out. And of course, with Murmur Herfager in the game, I make sure to get my daily allotment of 150 tokens or scripts, 150 scripts, so I can get my my 1 3-star melee weapon a day to immediately turn around and turn into 40 3-star scripts because it's always a piece of crap.
By Hunter's Pitchfork.
Yeah, that's right.
Hunter's Pitchfork.
See, right now I have. Actually, I just picked up at the White Spring here. I picked up a Mutants pole hook, which actually is not bad. It's Mutants pole hook. But it's another one for Eric because it's more damage while blocking, reflects 50% damage by blocking plus 1 strength. But it's only level 40, so it's going into the script machine.
Yeah.
I really hope that they never come out with a correct pronunciation for her name so that everybody can just say it the way that they want.
Myrtle Burgle, of course.
Murmur.
They always think about with the Steve Martin movie, A Man with Two Brains, where his girlfriend is Anne Mahay, and his name is Michael Rufrahar. I forget his is harder to say, but that's the running joke in that movie that their names are unpronounceable. So that's my run. Does anybody else have a good run they like to do on a daily or weekly basis in the game?
No,
What do you
don't do that.
use? What do you buy with all the caps that you're making? What do you use them for?
Plans usually. So like I'm working on. I can do all the jetpacks now, and I can do two of the 4 calibrated shocks.
Wow. Okay.
And the neon letters, right? So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Neon letters, jetpacks, calibrated shocks.
You bought any serums yet? Because I know serums are like 20 grand or something.
No, I don't worry about those because like I've only got one character, and it never is going to make. If I were going to set up a shop, yeah, I should buy marsupial and crank those out. But I'm not going to bother with the shop. So for my one character, it will never make sense for me to buy the serum. I would buy the plan. I just get the serum. So I've got my 8. I think I have 8 mutations. I've got my marsupial and whatever. But I'm fairly picky about the mutations because I don't want either herbivore or carnivore because I like to be able to eat everything.
Yeah, I get that. I'm all carnivore, and it makes me mad when I eat soups and don't get anything for them and stuff.
Yeah. So because I like to get the health the buffs from eating meat, but then my basic staple foods are the corn soup and razor grain soup that I grow at home.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to have both. So yeah. So and I freely buy plans. Like I haven't done like Scorched Earth nearly as much as a lot of the other kind of regular players. So like I bought a bunch of camp plans and stuff just to fart around in my camp. That's the other thing I spend caps on is just buying plans from the bot.
Plans, yeah. I'm kind of the same way. That's why I've never had more than 4,000 caps because there's always more plans to get.
Yep, exactly.
Out of the outfits now, because I had a brief window of 5 days before they made the outfits cost a lot more material, so they were and nerfed the prices so they weren't as valuable. I had 5 days with the witch costume, but then they upped that so it requires a lot of rubber as well.
The witch is tricky. The skeleton requires bone and plastic now.
And but I like this. I think the Civil War dress is my favorite now because 5 cloth, 1 gold, and it's not too hard.
Crystal.
Civil War, 5 cloth, 1 crystal.
Crystal, yeah, it's crystal, not gold.
Okay, my version is gold, but it might not be Civil War reenactor. Then it might be Civil War dress. I'm not sure. Whatever one I have, 5 cloth, 1 gold, and I'm loving it because I can get gold real easy, and I've got way too much cloth. So that's
and the top hat doesn't sell for very much, but it only takes 1 leather and 3 cloth, I think. So it's actually not a bad. When I'm selling to vendors, I see other people having sold the Civil War hat a lot. I'll see like a vendor with like 50 copies of the Civil War hat very frequently.
Yeah, you can always tell when I've been to Fort Defiance because the vendor at White Spring Station has 20 straight jackets for sale.
Yeah. Straight jackets. I do that one not daily like the other ones, but I do Fort Defiance every now and then, and look for the Bosnock Man mask and that stuff. Yeah, the straight jackets are all straight jackets and ranger outfits and golf outfits. All their list price is 200. And with my perk choice, I can sell those for about 30, I think.
So at what point the list price is 200? That's the price that it'll be sold back to you, I assume. At what point?
It's worse. There's a bid ask on both sides. So the 200 is like that's the nominal price, but you buy it for more than that and you sell it for much less than that. There's a spread both ways.
When do you get to the point where your charisma or selling ability is the list price?
I have no idea. Does anybody have a 15 charisma character to test it?
Yeah.
I think that's the running joke is that number is just a made up number.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to hit that
It's the
somewhere.
wholesale price.
Yeah, so if I ever go back to my alt character, I actually should do that. I should get her charisma up to 15 just for grins and see if 15 because you can get 20 if you got 15 charisma, you'd be able to get to 22 plus the great mentats gives you 10% plus hard bargain 3. That'd be the way to that's the max that I can think of for and drink you want party boy or party girl, which triples your alcohol effect. No, triples,
And
yeah, triples too.
Charisma armor exists too, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You start getting charisma armor, you could get up to, in theory, that'd be 15 plus 5 for great mentats plus 3 for booze is 23 plus 5 pieces of charisma armor is 28. Yeah, and there's some chems and stuff. There's some food that gives you. Excel will give you +2, so that's 30.
So you can get to 30. You think you can get to?
But that would require 5 pieces of charisma armor, which is not going to be real easy to get. Because I don't know if all 5 pieces will give you charisma.
Oh,
right. I don't know if there's a piece for every limb or limb and head that will give you charisma.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's around 25 to 30. I mean, 20 something would be easy to get if you have 15 charisma.
And then get not group mentality, whatever that mutation is, that buffs it 2 when you're on a team.
Yeah.
Wow. You can get it up there. I'd like to see someone get the actual value of one of these products at some point. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I got off the subject, but we were talking about grilling earlier. Ray, you're such a cookie guy. Do you grill out when I know Georgia is like the surface of the sun in the summer, but do you get the grill out?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you do? Tell me about your grill. Propane? Are you a charcoal? Are you a lump? Hardwood? What are you doing?
Yeah, I've got a smoker with a side firebox. So I can do
one of those egg smokers by chance? Oh, I love that.
No, it's a barrel.
Okay.
But so I build a wood fire in the firebox and can smoke some pork butt. But grilling, I love to get. I'll buy a bone-in rib roast, and then slice it into steaks, and do bone-in ribeyes.
My wife loves a good ribeye. I'm not much of a steak guy, but she would be giving you high fives right now.
And doing it on the grill, is that better than sous vide to you, or which way do you go?
No, I always do it on the smoker when I do. I have so I go in, I build a super high heat fire, and put my grill marks, my crosshatch grill marks on it each side, and then I give it a short soak in olive oil and herbs, and then stack them at the cold end of the box, and throw on, depending on which mood I'm in, either hickory or mesquite chips, and let it finish off the heat.
Can you describe to me the difference between hickory and mesquite?
Hickory's kind of your standard barbecue flavor. It's a kind of a mellow wood flavor. The mesquite gives it's a very distinctive Western flavor, much sharper flavor to the wood, and it's it's how I grew up eating steak, is cooked on mesquite.
Isn't mesquite like a really weird tree? Doesn't it look strange growing? Isn't it like kind of a weird looking?
It's kind of twisted and like a giant bush more than a tree.
Yeah, I thought it was that. Yeah. So why do you have any idea the history of it? Why is that wood used?
For the flavor. I mean, it's really common across the Southwest.
So, I mean, it's hickory and mesquite are the two you hear about a lot.
Hmm.
And I assume that's just because it's well tested and researched and everything. Do you ever toy with any other woods, Ray?
Oh yeah, I've
Like
done all kinds of weird, like um, you know, pomegranate wood and
oh,
Probably applewood.
oh yeah, apple, pecan,
Mhm.
peach. Those are all pretty common. Um,
I like it when you cut a piece of cherry wood, how like it smells like someone opened a cherry coke around you or something. Like you get like cherry wood actually has a light hint of cherry sniff to it. I always just thought that it was because it was reddish, but then like you actually cut into it and it does smell like cherries a little bit.
Really?
Does that
I'm gonna have to go
would
sniff a
that
cherry tree.
would that come across?
okay, George Washington. um, no, and that's the thing. I've experimented with a lot of really weird woods, and what they smell like fresh is a lot different than what they smell like, or taste like with the smoke.
Interesting. How about cactus? Can you smoke with cactus?
You can smoke cactus.
Or like peyote?
But
Yeah.
cactus isn't like wood, is it?
That's what a
No.
rain stick is. You turn them shits inside out. You ever seen one of those dried cactus? They're hard as hell. That's kind of like wood. That thing will burn.
Yeah, they do have some woody structure to some of the cactuses,
Hmm.
but
I guess.
no, they're they're best grilled over the fire. No pales. You get the prickly pear. You can cut
Mm.
the spines off, and they're pretty yummy.
Really? Eating cactus. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
What else? What's the weirdest thing you've ever grilled? You doing like octopus or anything?
Yeah, octopus isn't really all that weird grilled.
Or smoked. Well, what's the weirdest animal you've put in your smoker? Done like antelope or anything?
Squirrel.
No.
Accidental.
I don't know.
Yeah, that goes in your Brunswick stew.
Yeah.
Um,
Iguana
I don't
bit.
know. I can't really think of anything weird that I usually let other chefs cook weird stuff for me. And
Okay, you've been to Latin America. What's
Yeah.
the weirdest, most exotic animal you've ever eaten, prepared by someone else?
probably the weirdest, I guess, would be monkey.
You've eaten monkey?
Oh.
It was, you can get into situations where you're being hosted by somebody.
Yep.
And whatever they prepare is this is our great feast for you. You pretty much got to go for it.
Plus, he probably had it coming.
Fucking monkey. You steal my keys the last time, you fucking monkey. You're gonna have dinner.
What did it taste like, Ray? Was it like chickeny? Was it like steaky, porky, lamby, gamey?
Humany.
Yeah, I was gonna say long pig.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it had so much sauce on it. It was, it tasted like sauce.
Reminds me of Temple of Doom.
Yes. Yes.
Crack open those monkey skulls for a little monkey brain dessert there. Yum. That is crazy, Ray. That's awesome. Anything else like that? I mean,
All kinds of cool experiences, right? Like, that's awesome.
how about shark? Eating shark?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dummy Andrew. How dare you ask? Of course I've eaten shark. Anything African? Crocodile,
I've
gazelle,
never.
hippo.
I haven't actually been to Africa. I'll have to put that on the list.
Man, that would be so cool. I would
Try
love.
some giraffe.
Gosh. Do Australians eat kangaroo? That's the next thing that popped in my head. Eating kangaroo? Do they eat them?
I think I've heard of it. Didn't someone mention kangaroo jerky on the show before?
Oh, maybe they did.
I
I
feel
know
it.
they eat the lizards.
But we're getting a long way from grilling here.
Yeah, grilling. Because Sergio was bringing up the grilling.
Ribeye, you can't go wrong. Grill a ribeye.
That's one of the things Sergio was talking about. It's like he would come home. He grills year round. Like in the winter, he just pulls the grill closer to the house so he can hop outside really quick and do the propane. But he said he has like one of those dual grills that you can do the charcoal. He does the lump hardwood on one side, and then he can have propane if you need to go fast about it. But if you can be slow about it and get it nice and smoky and stuff like that, he does like the lump hardwood.
Yeah, he's posted some real good grill pics. A lot of sausage, burgers, and some steaks.
Why are these not being posted on the Facebook feed?
Oh, they're in our meetup thread. You see, you have to have an Xbox, Sarah.
Sergio, I need to see some pics of this amazing food. Stat.
But I was just wondering what everybody's favorite thing to grill was. We got ribeye from Ray. How about you, Andrew? Do you grill much?
I do. My wife likes to grill lots of like barbecue chicken and stuff like that. When I grill, I'm just a plain old like hot dog. I really like just normal gross old hot dogs. I love grilling hot dogs over the open flame. It's just something about little crunchy edges on them. I like to get the little black bubbles on them.
Oh yeah, with good natural casing.
Love them. Good stuff. I'm not scared to go to the butcher shop to get like the garlic pork sausage and just the
yeah,
stuff like that. Last year, and I haven't done it yet this summer, but my favorite thing that I grilled last summer was I went and got a German style bratwurst from our local butcher. And if you know anything about the German style bratwurst, it's just a giant coil. So they don't like segment it like you see, like you have the hot dog comes out and then you spin it and then you get the next one and you spin it and that creates little links or whatever. But this style is just like a giant coil, starts in the middle, goes all the way out and just giant concentric circles, takes up basically your whole grill, and it's just one big huge sausage. And you stick wood skewers horizontally each direction so it all stays sort of the same, so you can flip it over and stuff. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to flip the damn thing. But it was you just sort of cut segments off into what sizes you want for the hot dog. That's why you don't segment it. You can just cut it afterwards. And that's one of my favorite things to do is like the giant coiled German style bratwurst. I love that. So good. And I don't like it. I don't like it big and thick because they do it like thin. It's like a small coil. It's not. I don't like it when you go get the 5-pack of bratwurst and they're like 1.5 inches, 2 inches in diameter. I like them thin, like ropey almost, like the huge coil. It's you get more surface area, you get more skin, you get more snap. It's really good.
Sheep casing.
What's it called?
Sheep casing.
Sheep. It's from sheep.
Mm-hmm. That's the
Delicious.
hot dog sized casing.
Yeah. So it's yummy. So good. That's my favorite thing to grill.
Do they come out more like Slim Jims when you do that?
It's a little thicker than that, but yeah, I do give them a little char, so they do have that little snap outside. Yeah,
it sounds really good. I don't remember if it was when we were working on the generator last time or our Xbox thread where I was at the meat raffle a couple months ago, winning all that meat. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I vaguely remember you got a lot of meat. What'd you get?
I was posting in one of our groups. I had a few drinks, at the meat raffle and all kinds of meat, but they had some really great sausages. That's what you're making me think of. But
yeah,
meat raffle.
Yes, it's a thing. Oh, you weren't on that thread then, so it was probably the Xbox group, Sarah.
Oh, okay. Well, fine.
So it's a Buffalo thing, apparently, although it might be happening elsewhere. But it's
What?
usually a fundraising charity event. And
Okay.
what you do, you go in. Usually there's a basket raffle on the side, where you
Mhm.
get a bunch of baskets. But
Mhm.
you go each round. They'll do rounds of like 2 or 3, maybe 4 different cuts of meat. So everyone will put in. They'll buy tickets. Vendors go around with a basket. You buy a ticket, and then they spin the wheel and draw a ticket, and the winners of that round go up and get whatever meat's on display. So it might be a round for sausages, a round for steak, tenderloin. Gosh, we got so much stuff. We even had a surf and turf. We won some surf and turf and a 10-pound.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a great fundraiser, and if it's a good meat raffle, we could not believe how much meat we won. Like,
That is money. Why are more people not doing that? Because I am on board with a meat raffle.
what was great, you got in, you $5 ticket to get into the first place, and then
Yeah.
you're doing, $1 per round that you want to buy a ticket
Yeah.
for, and
Shoot.
it was 2-3 hours, and they gave us free drinks, so
Oh my gosh. That's great.
well worth it. But yeah, so I'm kind of a what does this button do girl. So I grill things that shouldn't be grilled a lot. But I say my favorite experiment in the last 2 years was doing nachos on the grill.
What?
I set it up on a really low smoke, and I put it on there on my veggie rack, with the holes, the grate with the holes in it for veggies, and I set it up there, and they came out. They tasted mostly like regular nachos, but there was a real nice kind of thin crisp to the chips, and they did have a much more smoky flavor.
That's great.
Just
Sounds
kind of
good.
random. But I'm not a great griller. I'm propane, and I do like the hickory and the applewood in the little smoker box that you can put in
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so nothing too fancy.
You can like
But,
soak the chips in water so that they don't catch fire, but they smoke more. Yeah.
yeah, but for those of us up north, there's grill season, so we're all opening our grills now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
got me thinking about it too. How about you, Sarah? Do you guys grill?
How's the apartment grilling?
Apartment. Ugh. So we don't grill in this apartment. We actually got a really nice grill for Christmas that's made it with us through 3 moves, but we left it at our old apartment complex.
Oh.
Wonk, 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 because we didn't have room here. So when we did grill, we are meal preppers. So we did a lot of chicken. But if somebody else is making it, it's always tri-tip.
Oh yeah,
Tri-tip is what we do.
that's a California thing. I think Ray
Yes.
and you have
Yeah.
talked about that before. Did you give us a brief reminder about this tri-tip sandwich or whatever?
That would be a good question for Ray because I never realized it wasn't a thing, but
Yeah, that's a California thing. I've heard California people talk about
do you know what cut it is, Ray? Like what exactly where it's from?
the
It's-
tenderloin, right?
No, it's the backside of the sirloin primal.
And it is so good.
Yeah, and
Is it just extra tender or something? What is it?
well, so the meat is very it has a very straight line to it. So it's easy to cut against the grain and come out with nice tender pieces. But it also has a big fat cap on it. So so it's a triangle shaped piece of meat, and one of the big sides has a fat cap on it. You trim that down to about a 1/4 inch and put it on a grill in indirect heat. And as the fat renders, it goes into the meat and just makes it tender and juicy, and is killer. Then you slice it across the grain and make a sandwich of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they go on and on about the sandwich. The meat sounds delicious, but the bread too. So they go on about the bread. What is up with that? There's just a roll or something that you get?
It's just sourdough.
It's just San Francisco sourdough or whatever.
So we just eat it. We make sandwiches out of it too, but where I come from, like if you're having a special occasion, somebody is barbecuing tri-tip. That's just like our go-to like party celebratory food.
Ray, do you have any other idea why it's a California specific thing, or why people from California? That's when I've heard about it. It's from people from California.
Yeah, I believe the story goes that it started out in Santa Maria, which is coastal town up near Santa Barbara.
Back the Nina, the Pinto, and the Santa Maria, the Columbus brought over, or the Pilgrims, or whoever brought the fucking tri sandwich.
So it's a piece of meat that everywhere else gets thrown in and ground up for hamburger.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. That it's like a piece of meat that nobody ever really wanted.
And so,
Is that because it's extra fatty or something?
ranch hands, people that don't have, didn't have a lot of money for meat, could buy this cut really inexpensively.
Okay, so it is one of those things where it's the lower class food that has since become a staple of the community and therefore has now become sort of a delicacy.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't really know. Like, I don't see a whole lot of it up here in the Bay Area. It's something that we saw a lot where I'm from in the Central Valley.
And Central and Southern California. It's very common.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's like a delicacy, but it's something that where I grew up, it was just the thing that we went out and we got, and it tastes really good. And
well, there's other examples in American cuisine where it's something that the slaves would make, and then throughout generations, now the rich white people eat it nowadays, but it's because it's what the slaves could have that what they could scrap together back in the day, but now it's an honored dish, or I don't know, specifically like gumbo or succotash or something like that down south.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I remember one time I remember I was picking out invitations for my wedding, and I overheard a girl talking about her wedding that was just across the way, but I could hear her conversation. And I remember her saying, I don't understand why anybody would serve tri-tip at a wedding. That is so horrible. I would never serve my guests tri-tip at their wedding. And I'm sitting there okay, I'm serving my guests tri-tip. So I don't know. It's not like a delicacy, but it is a regional food that we have here that is amazing. And it's the go-to barbecue thing.
It's just really damn good.
That's what I would say about Indiana.
Yeah, it is.
And Indiana tenderloin is not a delicacy by any point, but every Hoosier knows about it and loves it, and no one would serve it at a wedding. It's very similar.
Yeah, totally.
But another thing that's great to grill is fruit.
Tell me about it.
Pineapple.
That's actually
so good.
Number one. Peaches are also really good on the grill.
And you're from Georgia, so you got peaches knee deep. This actually ropes Pat into the conversation. Pat in a regional food conversation sort of way. Not a big meat eater. Pat is at least vegetarian, if not vegan. So, Pat, do you have any grill stories you can chirp on here in a minute after Ray tells us about his fruit grilling too? I'd be interested to hear what vegetarians grill like.
Well, we just usually grill veggie burgers and things like that. Just pretty simple stuff. We don't have any elaborate grill rituals, but we enjoy doing that this time of year when weather gets nice and pleasant to be outside.
I was chopping up an onion, putting soy sauce on it, wrapping that in foil, and throwing that on the grill. That's always really good. A salty onion, grilled onion is really good.
Pat, you don't do any fish?
No.
Okay.
But what's talking about onions? One thing specifically to do is to get a Vidalia onion, and just a whole Vidalia onion, and bake that like a potato, and those are sweet enough and tender enough to actually just eat.
Yeah,
just to cut up and eat. Those the sweet Vidalias. Speaking of Georgia,
that's all. And peaches. Tell me about your grilling fruit here, Ray.
It's pretty simple because you get the char from the sugar in the fruit, and so with pineapple, it's so sweet and juicy. You get a great grill. You get good grill marks, and good flavor from the caramelization of the sugar.
So what are you doing? Are you getting a fresh pineapple and coring it and cutting circles and doing it? Or are you getting like canned and putting it on a skewer? What do you do?
No, fresh pineapple.
And just rings? You're putting like what, half-inch thick rings on the grill directly on the grate?
No, I usually do quarters.
Okay, so the whole pineapple, you cut it into quarters. Okay.
Yeah, so you just cut the top off, cut the bottom off, cut it in 4 pieces, skin it, and drop it on the grill.
You leave the core in the middle.
Yeah, just to kind of help hold it all together. You can cut that out when you go to cut it up and eat it.
You mentioned peaches. How do you serve those on a grill?
Just cut those in half and set them right on the grill.
I've never had a grilled peach. I'm gonna have to try that this summer.
You pop the pit out?
Yeah.
What else? What other fruit are you grilling?
Plums are good.
Whoa.
So stone fruit.
Yeah, sounds like
your
you do
plums, your peaches, apricots, maybe.
Lots of sugar, but firm enough to hold up. Never have tried an apple. I don't think they're juicy enough.
Do you eat persimmon, Ray?
Persimmon pudding.
What?
Persimmon. My wife had a tree growing up. I'd never had them before, but they like, if they're not ripe yet, they are the most fucking bitter thing, and they suck the moisture out of your mouth. It is so weird. It is the weirdest fucking fruit.
I don't think I've ever had persimmon.
But when they are ripe, it's just like swallowing a pound of sugar.
It's delicious when they're ripe, but before they're ripe, it is the weird. It has some strange chemical reaction where it literally sucks. It's like you had a pound of salt in your mouth. There's no.
What do they taste like?
They're bitter as fuck before they're.
Well, I mean, like what would you compare it to?
That's stone fruit. I don't know. What do you think, Ray? I'd say somewhere in the apricot, nectarine, peach when they're actually good. But I don't know. What would you say?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's a really distinct flavor.
Yeah, it's not. I don't. Ray said it's a pound of sugar, but I don't think of them as sweet as like peaches and stuff. But maybe
they
they're
don't,
in time.
like,
I don't know.
They don't like sell persimmons places, do they?
I don't know. I've only picked them up off of the ground. I don't know.
Well, there's several different varieties too. My grandmother had a tree in her yard in Southern California, and so we had them a lot. And the type that she had, I don't know the name of it, but it's a really large fruit. It's popular in Korea too, but it's a smaller, flatter persimmon that's not quite as ripe. But we used to just you just bite the end off and slurp everything out of it.
I don't think I've ever had the pudding, but I have had persimmon pie as well, which is super sweet, loaded up with sugar on top of whatever the sweetness of the actual fruit itself is anyway. So yeah. We're talking about all this grilling and Sergio doing grilling. I just want to extend some thoughts out to Sergio. And you need anything from the community, just let us know. All right, bud?
Amen.
Yep. Hey, absolutely.
All right. We're down on grilling. Let's look at our show notes here. Anything else we need to get through? But we'll close out the show with a quick game of one round of the Damashek game. But we did check in with we need some Iguana Bits updates. Did we clear everything off of our updates? Did we talk about everything that was released in the last
No, not really. We hit the biggest thing though, that being Project Paradise. I can go down a couple because there were 2 Iguana Bits this week. We had the Tuesday update and then just a fun blog today.
So the Tuesday update, what were the big things from this week?
Well, other than Project Paradise, it had less patches than usual, but they did fix the thing in player shops where you can now inspect the items whether or not the owner of the shop is nearby.
Okay, I misunderstood that one when it was first announced. I thought that they were saying that you can now look at someone's inventory without actually traveling to their camp. What it used to be is you could go to a player's camp and look at their inventory, but you couldn't actually look into it more unless they were at the camp at the same time as the person trying to buy stuff or something?
Yeah, exactly. So you're going down through a shop, and you know how you press in the thumbstick to inspect the item. You couldn't inspect unless the player was on premises. So
And-
you had some people going AFK in their, in their outhouse or whatever, just happened to hang out near the shop for people to see their legendaries.
So that just means you couldn't, if it had a 3-star legendary, you just couldn't see the second or third
So
effect of the
you could only
legendary.
see first, unless it was one where it had a name that told you what it did, like instigating, and then it showed something else.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you could,
now-
you
now
could see
can get
two
all
for
the
the
details.
named ones. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
You can also with player vending, you can assign items even if your camp is at maximum. So when you run out of camp budget, it used to be you couldn't assign items either. They had that taken camp budget, but now you can.
Oh, great.
So that is it for the with the store.
Oh,
Also,
well, go. Yeah. Keep going. Go ahead.
oh no, do you have something else for player vending?
No. You're moving on. Keep going.
Okay. I was going to say for player vending, I came up with the best plan. If they ever make it, you know how we can rename items now, okay? So renaming items plus player vending. If you can rename items you sell, I have a foolproof plan.
Uh-oh. That sounds
Okay.
obvious.
Here we go.
Rename every item in your shop to NPC. You'll sell out immediately. Sorry, just I'm just being devious there. Okay. Other fixes, with the Pioneer Scouts, we got some fixes on Herpetologist finally.
I heard Jen talking about this in the group. Yeah.
Because you couldn't, the pictures, if you took them with your camera, we're talking about how you need the camera in order to do the pictures and a lot of stuff for scout badges. Well, it wouldn't count taking pictures of frogs most of the time with the camera. So that's going to work again. And also crafting the frog habitat does count towards completing the badge. A lot of people are having that not count. So when you catch the frog, have you guys seen the frog jars, by the way? Has anyone caught a frog?
I've only seen the picture in passing. I've not seen it. What's it like?
Do you have one in your camp, Pat? You said you caught it.
I do. Yeah, I've got one sitting on my stove. I'm boiling a frog.
It is.
Is he sitting on a pat of butter and the milk boiling?
No, it's in a jar.
You should set it on top. Set it on top of your grill. But I just feel so bad for the frog because it's like fat frog in a little jar. Oh no! The thing has no room to move.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
Somebody call PETA. It is just.
Oh.
Right.
And so just it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky to do it because you have to make the jar. You need, what is it? Blood leaf, steel, and glass, I think. And then you have to go catch a frog.
Is there no spawn point for frogs?
Down near the White Springs.
Yeah, White Springs swimming pool is usually the easiest place.
Oh, yeah.
You see them other places, but they're almost always there. And then you have to go to your camp, and then your camp build menu under floor decor is where you actually build the frog habitat.
And
so you craft the jar at a tinker bench, you catch the frog in the wild, and then you go to your camp menu. So it's kind of confusing.
And it wasn't letting you complete the circle. So that's why a lot of people had the frogs in the jars, nothing to do with them, and just set them down. And the poor frogs wanted a habitat.
And the cute thing is that when you have the frog shows up in your junk menu, even though it's a living creature. And when you put it in your stash, it rivets. It's really cute.
Aww.
See, it's life worth junk.
Yeah, exactly.
We should get chocolate frogs.
And take it to the burrows.
So as a
run.
As a tadpole, if you eat the frog, does that make you a cannibal?
I don't think you could eat the frog because it's junk.
No.
Frog legs.
Why can't we make frog legs?
You can.
You can, yeah.
You can do frog legs there. You can be a tadpole and eat frog legs. Yeah, total cannibal.
Yeah, I think if you go up to the frog when it's alive, you can press A to capture it. But if you just murder it, you can grab its little legs and chow down.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Doc Hopper over here. Okay.
Free beverages on the roof, Jess.
Another change, talking about free, the cat and the Deathclaw topiaries. I don't know if anyone got a chance to build them in their camp, but they
Yes.
were supposed to be Atom Shop items, so they are no longer free. So if
Oh, no way.
yeah, if you built them, you get to keep them. But if
Oh,
you
that's
didn't build them,
awesome.
you got to buy them.
I
So
didn't make a death claw, but I made like 3 cats.
yeah, that's where I am. I wish I had made a
Yeah.
death claw now that I know that they're
Yeah.
for limited time.
That's too
But
bad.
it's the same kind of classic Bethesda thing where
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're doing, they're like, hey, we messed up. If you did this, you
Yeah.
can keep it. Did you stack your foundations? Okay, we won't delete them. Did you make the free stuff you shouldn't have? Okay. Did you dupe something? Well, I wish they got rid of those, but you keep
Yeah.
them. We're just
Yeah.
gonna stop it here. So yeah, we get to keep our topiaries, but they're no longer
Nice.
free.
Bummer.
That's all I have from Tuesday. Does anybody have anything else from that?
They fixed the ability to get the survival item challenge item in adventure mode.
Yeah, that stinks.
Oh,
I got a couple of free named weapons that way.
Yeah.
It was good while it lasted. We had it for
Yeah.
what, 2 weeks or 3 weeks that people got them.
Yeah.
It must have been 3 because I got 2 of those items. I wasn't on much this week, so.
Well, this week you couldn't get it. It was the sword from last week that ended, Tuesday morning is the last one.
That's the one I didn't get. I got some sort of 50 cal machine gun named thing or something, right? I didn't even.
And then the other one, there's a named Gatling gun.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But the Gatling gun's okay, but the sword is really sweet. I'm having a good time with the sword.
I just don't use big guns at all. I hardly even use guns in this game.
Well, I did. So we were talking earlier about the crippling mechanic. I did invest 3 perks in maxing out the big gun crippling effect card that goes in luck. So I'm gonna try that. See if that helps the next time I do Scorched Earth.
Yeah, ever since I maxed Enforcer like 3-4 weeks ago. I'm seeing a big difference now. My shotguns are crippling too.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, and then today's Iguana Bits blog, they had the Wild Appalachia wrap up. So hey, by the way, they're wrapping up Wild Appalachia just as our season wraps up. I just thought that was a really cool coincidence.
They need to.
Oh, it's not a coincidence. They knew.
Our lead. Come on, guys.
Mhm.
Yep. They met Lee in game and they checked out the season and knew when it was going to end.
Yeah.
I wonder how many Bethesda employees Lee has spoken to and he doesn't even know.
At this point, a lot of us are advertising, so it's good. The word's getting out.
Yeah.
So today's Iguana Bits had a list of numbers, Wild Appalachia by the numbers, and pretty interesting stuff. It was a list of basically how many people did what. So we have, for instance, number of legendaries scrapped for script. Okay, anyone who hasn't looked at the list yet, can you guess how many legendaries might have been scrapped?
This is all players across all servers?
Yes.
$1, Bob.
She's betting low. I'm going to
$2.
$2. Yeah, exactly. There's always that asshole at the end who says $2, and the person who says $1 is like, "Fuck you."
You can't play that gambit unless you go forth. You can't do it.
Yeah.
So in 1 week, because the Murmur showed up last Thursday, 5,688,155 weapons scrapped.
Whoa.
So that's a whole lot of junky syringers.
5 million bullshit guns
Pro Snap Deluxe photos
that nobody wants.
So these are photos taken just with the Pro Snap Deluxe camera. 5,846,206.
All right, so a lot fewer people are getting the camera because I assume you take multiple pictures, so fewer people are doing the camera than scrapping. Well, that makes sense. The camera has that request to take.
I mean, it was a higher total. It was like 200,000 more.
Wow, yeah.
But most crafted alcohol, this one's kind of a no-brainer.
Beer? What would be?
Yeah, exactly. Beer. Yep. And then here's a great list at the very end. Oh, well, here's another one. Number of imposter sheep squatches deaths.
Oh, God. 0? Negative
12.
12.
Yeah, 6. I don't know. Something really low.
It with the rate of failure on that one, it is a little bit lower. We have 1,967,657 imposter sheep squatches taken down.
Wow.
And that's in what? About 3 weeks on that?
That's still a lot. Yeah.
Actually, a month. Yep.
You know, people talk a lot of shit on this game, but these numbers prove that a whole hell of a lot of people are playing this game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know,
And there are
I mean,
people coming back too.
the photo thing, I mean, half of that was Will. So can't really.
At least. Yeah.
But
If
everything
you're
else, I mean, geez.
if you're on Twitter, watching like at Fallout 76 photo mode,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean you see some great pics. There are a lot of people
Oh my
really
gosh,
doing
yeah.
photography.
It's crazy. It's so cool.
Hey, if the poll is still active, go to the Fallout 76 photo mode or 76 photo mode. I forget what the account is
I
actually.
think it's at 76 photo mode.
At
Yeah.
76 photo mode. If the poll is still up, please go vote for number 2 for Will's submission. He had a cool rad toad tongue going through someone's face to get a sloppy kiss there. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Go
What is
there
it again?
at 76 photo mode. I think the account is called, and there's a poll up on there. If it's still going on, the poll might have ended already. I don't know how long they set it up to go for, but Will he's one of the finalists for one of the polls. So I don't know if he actually wins anything besides kudos, but please go support Will. Go
But
vote for a picture if that's possible.
All right.
yeah,
All right.
it's actually easy to find because we retweeted it earlier. So you got a link there to the poll. And what was cool was Will had a couple in the running this week, and I saw the. Of course I voted for him, both in the countdown and then in the final tally. But he posted that on our group. What 2-3 months ago? It was a good photo.
Yeah, it's great.
Glad he brought it back. So, and I do think don't some of the winners end up in the Wild Appalachia and the Around Appalachia thing on the Iguana Bits blog?
Oh, really? I had no idea. Awesome.
Yeah, every 2 weeks they do the Around Appalachia. So I think that's where they got some of the pictures from. So the final list that we have is the top 10 camp vendor items sold. So this is a good list to refer to if you're wondering what you should sell.
Let's guess them, guys. Top 10 items sold. You have this list in front of you, Jess? You know
I
what
do indeed.
Ray, what is the number one top item you think sold at a vendor at camp? I know you don't. I know you don't care personally about camp vending. What do you think people are buying the most of?
I'd have to think it was either stim packs or fusion cells.
Yeah, see, my instinct would be stem packs number 1, but I looked at the list and it's not number 1.
No, but it is top 10. It is top 10. And Ray said fusion cell, but he probably meant fusion core.
Did you mean cores?
Oh yeah, for the power armor.
Yeah, fusion cores. That would not have popped into my head as number 2, but it totally makes sense that would be a high answer. Yeah.
Yep, fusion core is number 1. Fusion core is the number 1 answer.
Everybody always seems to be looking for those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's another time when we talked about earlier accepting random team ups. Sometimes I get a note from someone who's going to abandon one of the workshops and like, hey, you want to team up and take over Poseidon, or Thunder Mountain because I'm going to log off. And so that way you can take over the fusion core reactor. I've had that happen a few times.
Well, that's nice.
Yep.
Yeah. People are saying they just set up the nuclear reactor and you don't even have to run the thing, and you can
exactly. Yeah.
You can do that. I still think that's a lot of investment of nuclear reactor, but I guess it's better than
you're using workshop materials.
40 minutes to run through.
Yeah. You're using workshop materials to make it. It's actually it's way cheaper. That's why I mentioned it.
Do it that way.
Oh, hey, talking about people taking our advice on from the show too, or just running with our ideas. Shout out to Scott for joining the whole sneak train and breaking and entering.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He did a little B&E, figured out using some of the tips on getting through Windows.
Yeah.
Took some of those illicit photos. That's the only thing better than a regular photo is an illicit
illicit illegal photo, sneaking photo.
It looked
I
like
love
a
it.
camp. Yeah, but you know what you did.
Funny. I'd love it if he were in the camp and the person came home. And what,
You're like, oh,
what the fuck? What are you doing? It's like they just start shooting at him, but there's no griefing anymore. So can he do anything about it? If you're there, you didn't break in. You're not there illegally. You wouldn't
just wave.
You wouldn't be wanted.
Well, and besides, most of us who would do it just for fun. Maybe even fix some stuff up, or like I think was it Pat was it you the other day who cleaned up some super mutants in somebody's camp?
Yeah,
you left.
Yeah. Somebody had locked their camp, and I think what happened probably he was a vendor, and my guess is that some super mutants ran in while his camp was spawning for somebody. Because you can. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, like when your camp's spawning in, you can walk through the walls and stuff before they get built. And I'm guessing some super mutants did that when somebody came in, and they were inside his camp trashing his camp, and his turrets were outside his camp trying to kill the super mutants
shooting inside
his camp, but they were not doing the job. So the super mutants were in his camp trashing him, and so I repaired the turrets that were broken first, and that didn't do it. And then I eventually climbed in through a workbench by climbing on a water purifier, and I went in and took care of the super mutants, and of course had a nap in his bed and left him a bottle of wine and on his pillow and as a little souvenir.
That's great. He probably see. I would hope that he would come home soon enough that they hadn't turned to meat piles yet, so he could actually just walk in and be like, "What the fuck happened? There are 6 dead super mutants and a bottle of wine."
Yeah.
Did they? Is this a arsenic in the Kool-Aid? What?
It's a locked room puzzle.
What the fuck? Yeah, no, that'd be really fun. I would be highly confused if I showed up to my locked cabin and be like, what is this? No, that's awesome, Pat. That's a really good story. I like that.
Yeah, I had a good time with that one.
Do we want to have people try to guess some of the other items on here? Want me just?
Let's see. Is there what is the top chem? Oh, we already said stem packs. I guess those count as chems. How about let's see, food item? I doubt people are buying much food. Flux, is Flux on there?
No Flux. That's a good one, but I think it's rare enough because they're doing a high number of transactions. Rare enough while people buy it every time.
Oh, okay.
I don't see a lot of Flux for sale.
Ballistic fiber?
Nope.
Damn, I'm bad at this.
No, these are all things that are in demand. But some of them are ammo.
Oh, okay. 45 then. 45 ammo.
Yep, 45 is on there. That's number 5.
10 millimeter?
No 10 millimeter because who wants that?
I've seen pistol people out there in the submachine gun.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the other? The assault? Is it 5.56 for the assault?
Perfect. Yep, 5.56 is number 4. And in the number 2 place to round out the top 5 we haven't hit would be shotgun shells.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They require just that little bit more work with the whole plastic farming thing.
Plastic part, yeah.
If there was one serum on the list, what do people think it would be?
Oh, the fucking marsupial, of course. That's the one everyone wants, right? It's got to be marsupial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Marsupial. Then we have 308 rounds. Number 8 is a recipe, which might sound weird because recipes aren't as popular as plans, but it's the newest.
Oh, is it the cranberry hoagie grinder thing?
That would be great, or Appalachian chili cranburgers, but no.
Yeah, no. Oh.
It is the mutton meat pie from the sheep squatch.
What? What is that? I don't think I've ever gotten that yet.
They added it with when we got the real live sheep squatch, not the imposter one.
Okay.
So it's a new recipe, so nobody has it. So that's why they're buying it as soon as they see it.
Oh, okay. So does mutton give you, I assume, some sort of buff too? I would imagine.
I don't actually remember. I've made it, but I don't remember what it did.
Nice. All right.
Then we have disease cures, which is a weird choice. There you go.
Yeah. Disease cures. Yeah.
And then the last one, loose screws.
Loose screws. That makes a lot of sense. Kind of annoying to find, and need them for basically every piece of power armor. You need like 15 of them. So, gosh, that makes sense. Cool. Good list. Good list. I like it.
These are things you might want to sell. If you have them on hand, have them put in your shop, go for it.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah, those are the things that are selling. Those are the things that people are buying. So if you have any of those items, put them up. That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, before I close out the show this evening, guys, I wanted to get through. I brought up 2 lists. Probably just do one of them here of the Damashek game. Last week we did. What did we do? Ammunition. We did ammunition in Fallout 76, and you guys nailed all how many ever 26 or whatever varieties of the ammunition there were. Maybe not that many, but you guys got every single one of them, and I was very impressed. So this week, Let me explain the game real quick. It's just a list game. I have a list. You pick a category, you write all the items down in that category, and you take turns going one at a time. You have 5 seconds to answer. If you don't answer, if you can't come up with something in the category, you are out, and it goes to the next person. We'll just go down the line. I think I went left to right, and last time, so Jess was first. So we'll go backwards down the list. We'll start with Sarah, go to Ray, go to Pat, and then go to Jess here. So you're naming items in this list. The category this week in Fallout 76, and I don't need the completely broken down item. I don't care if it's raw or bulked or anything, but we are talking about junk items here in Fallout 76. You can take any variety of it, be it the raw or the scrap or the ore version of these different things. So let's go ahead down the line. We'll start with Sarah. And we are going to do Fallout 76 junk items. Number 1, go, Sarah.
Let's just make sure Pat is back first. He had to step away for a second.
Oh, did he? And actually, Sarah is muted too. So
I'm here.
Oh, Sarah.
I'm here.
Okay.
So
All right,
okay,
and,
so
and I'm back as well. So we're
Okay.
we're doing junk items.
Junk items and Fallout 76. I'm not going to tell you how many there are, but when we get close to the end, if there's still a few missing, I'll tell you how many are left on the list, and we'll go through that.
so do you want me to say like
okay,
cigarettes, or do you want me to say like cloth and asbestos?
Okay, good example. I would not want cigarettes. I would want the cloth.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Then I'll start with cloth.
It's
wait.
what it breaks down into.
So you want
Okay.
components.
The components.
That's completely different.
Component.
Okay.
The components that the junk breaks down into.
So Emerald Tie, Mr. Fuzzy, right out.
No Emerald Tie, Mister. That list, the junk list, would be hundreds of fucking.
That's where I thought
That's
you were
why I was
doing, and I was like,
confused.
okay, we're going to be here until next week. So
Yeah. And that'd be also. I thought when we did this a long time ago, Pat. One of the categories I considered doing was Fallout 4 locations. There's like 376 of them or something.
yeah, you can do like Boston locations, and that's doable. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going junk components in Fallout 76. Sarah, you've bought yourself like 6 minutes of extra time here with all these people gabbing, and now you've had an unfair advantage. So let's get to it. What you got?
She already busted it
I
out.
already said cloth.
Oh, what'd you say? Cloth. That's what your
Yeah.
answer is. Okay, use
Yeah.
cloth. Yes, cloth. Off the mark. Or not off the mark. Off the list. Totally on the mark. Ray.
Glass.
Glass is on the list. Pat.
Loose screws.
Screws are on the list. Jess.
Lead.
Lead is on the list. Sarah.
Asbestos.
Asbestos is
It's on the list.
And Ray.
Adhesive.
Adhesive. Yes, sir. Very good. Pat.
Ultrasight.
Ultrasight. Nice. Getting to the harder stuff early on. Jess.
I'll go with wood.
Wood. Yes. And Sarah?
Acid.
Acid, of course. One of my favorites.
Mhm.
Ray.
Crystal.
Crystal, also on the list. There we go. Found it. And Pat?
Antiseptic.
Also.
Ooh.
Very good. Jess?
Steel.
Steel, also sticking with the solids. Very good. Sarah?
Plastic.
Plastic, one of my favorites. Bulking, thank you. Ray?
Ceramic.
Also there. Very nice. Pat?
Rubber.
Rubber, of course. And Jess?
Gold scrap.
Gold on the list. Yes. Sarah?
Concrete.
Is there. Yes. Very good. And Ray?
Fertilizer.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was my next one.
Smell that one a mile away. Pat?
Black titanium.
Titanium is there. Do I have it black? How did I spell it? Yes, with the black. Okay, black titanium. Yes. Jess.
Circuitry.
Circuitry. Absolutely. Sarah.
Did we say copper?
Copper is there. Good answer. Ray.
Ballistic fiber.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Fiber. Good one. Pat.
All right, we're getting to the
Yeah.
tough ones here.
Yep.
So Let's see. We're not talking 8 items. I keep trying to think of chemical ingredients.
Gonna need an answer.
Nuclear waste.
Nuclear waste, perfect.
Ooh.
List. Nuclear material, but I'll give you the waste. Yes.
It shows it both ways.
Yes, it does. Jess.
He just took mine, by the way, but I'm going to go with silver then.
Silver, perfect. Good answer. And Sarah, back to you. Round the horn.
Have we done aluminum yet?
Aluminum is on the list. Good
Oh,
job.
okay.
You guys are awesome at this. You guys are so good. Ray.
Leather.
Of course.
Oh, leather. It's
Let
so easy.
Lionel lick Lily's lusty leathers. Anybody know that one? Anybody know that one?
No.
Nope.
Oh, come on, you guys. Let Lionel lick Lily's lusty leathers, or something like that. Gosh, who just goes? Was that Ray? Leather.
That's right.
Pat.
Oh boy. Thinking about ingredients to make shit.
That's what I'm doing in my head. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. What do I need to make that? And for that, or I make that?
Or I'm like, if I break down this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Let's see. Should I go ahead and tell you how many you have left? Because there are just a few here. 1, 2,
All right, give us that hint.
5, 6. You have 6 left. I don't know if that's.
Oh, dang.
I got a couple in mind.
Jess has a couple mounted up. Good.
I've got one. If it's somebody takes it, I think I might be done.
Everything I'm thinking of, we said. I think we said it, but I'll say crystal just in case.
Crystal has been said.
I thought so. Yeah.
All right, Pat, you are out, sir. Let's move on to Jess.
Gears.
Gears, perfect.
Oh.
Good job. Sarah, you are on.
Soap. Oil.
Oil. Perfect. Yes, good job on oil.
Well played.
Well done, Ray.
I'm like, what are the things I look for?
Yeah.
Has anybody said wood?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
So. All right, Ray, we're gonna cross you off there. So now we're down to Jess
Oh, shoot.
and Sarah.
I've got one.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. 6 left.
Oh, wow.
Is that what I said? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I may have miscounted last time we counted up.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fiber optics.
Fiber optics,
Oh,
perfect.
dang.
Yeah, great answer. This is getting so. I'm biting my fingernails. I'm so nervous for you, Sarah. So nervous.
It's okay. I got one.
Oh, perfect. What you got?
Springs.
Oh my God.
Duh. I always need springs.
My God. Yeah, so we're making excavator power armor over here. Let's get these springs together. Jess.
That is so good. I might be out. Oh my goodness. Give me a second.
There is no way. There's no way. Well, I am a hoarder, so maybe.
You are?
Maybe that's why.
And I used some of my hard ones already. Oh.
Remember Sarah being so impressed that she made it to the end last week. She thought she was going to be the first out.
I thought I was going to be the first out this time too.
You may have found yourself a new game.
Apparently I'm good at this game.
You definitely are. I think I'm out.
All right.
I'll be kicking myself, but
Okay.
Okay.
Sarah,
I got it.
I will declare you are the winner. But
Oh,
can
okay.
you hammer it home with any more?
Bone.
Bone, absolutely. Yes, bone is on the list. Good job. Any more? See, I'm counting.
I think bone is my last one.
1, 2, 3. Is that it? Just 3?
what else do you have?
We got circuitry, right?
Yep.
Yes, circuitry's been said.
What makes armor lighter?
Yep, there you go,
Oh,
Ray. I was about to give.
Oh, I got 2. I got 2 from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm done. I don't know what else.
I was gonna say, how do you make armor lightweight? Is one of them,
What
and
do you
actually, it's
want,
both of them. It works for 2 of those.
I don't think I've ever crafted lightweight armor. So
The
I don't
main
know.
main component of the armor of the Institute, the Synths Institute.
Yeah.
Did you ever make that stuff? Okay. Pat just said it. One of them which was not the one I was just explaining. Pat.
What was it, Pat?
Cork.
Cork makes lightweight, and the Institute
Really?
10th Institute armor in Fallout 4 was primarily fiberglass.
Where do you?
Yep.
Oh, fiberglass.
Yeah, and all my combat armor. I should have
Oh
thought of it.
shoot! I should have known that. I should have known the fiberglass thing. Where do you get
And-
cork from?
Baseballs.
Oh shoot. Okay.
And those don't actually scrap in this game unless you go in and on purpose scrap them. It'll
Right,
keep baseballs for you so you can make those baseball grenades.
And by your count, there should be one more item.
Yeah. Anybody have any guess? This is an item that was not in Fallout 4, brand new to Fallout 76. Not a
Oh,
common item.
I think I have it.
What?
Flux.
Absolutely.
Snap.
Sarah, you cleaned up. Good job.
Snap.
You're really good at
Nice.
this game.
Well played.
We will play this again.
You are the junk lady.
Yeah. she's-
I hoard a lot of things, you guys, and I scrap a lot of things.
You're good at that. Now,
Who knew?
hopefully the other categories you're knowledgeable about.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
Sarah, you
I
got to
think
work.
I'm out.
Sarah, you got to work on Saturday, but we are doing our. It'll be your last
Yeah.
show as a host of
Yeah.
Feed, and we have of course appreciated your services over the last 3 seasons. But we will be doing a feedback episode this Saturday at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time. If anybody out there has been sending feedback in the season, we would love for you to hop on the show. We're just going to do a season wrap up. It'll be a lot less of me dictating and directing, and just a lot more of everyone just sort of sitting back and chatting about their experiences, their first roundtable characters with Fallout 76, where they started out, where they ended up, and what the fuck happened in between, and all of that good stuff. So this Saturday, please hop on if any of you have been sending in feedback. I think we've I think I've got a count of everyone who should be invited, but in case there's someone I'm missing out there, if you haven't heard a word from me and you'd like to hop on, just give me an email over at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com, and we'll hook you up with the group, and we'll get you on this Saturday. I'm not sure if Hangout still has the same regulations that it used to, but I know a few years ago when we were planning for our charity benefit thing, we were concerned about how many people could be in a chat at once, and I think the limit back then was 10. So if there's more people than 10, first of all, that's just going to be a clusterfuck of a conversation, but then we might just have to cycle some people off and get other people on if people are willing to do that. So I'm looking forward to this episode on Saturday. We will again, Sarah, if you are on, you get a chance to defend your honor, and we will try to play another round of the Damashek game.
All right, I'll take some peeps out.
All right, you guys were all winners last week because you guessed all of the items, and that was very impressive. And Sarah was the champion of this episode, so that's very great.
And down to 3 as a group. That was pretty darn good.
That was pretty darn good.
There were
That was pretty darn good.
I don't remember how many kinds of ammunition there were, but there were 35 junk component pieces that you can get in Fallout 76.
Yeah, I would have never gotten cork. Just like the paddle ball string. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. I've only accidentally ever made that. Being like, oh, whoops, what is this? Oh, geez. What is?
Yeah.
Dang it. Wasted that rubber or whatever it took. Right on. Anybody have any other business that they would like to mention on the show this evening?
Not here.
That's great. Pat, I've had a really wonderful time you hopping on the show these last couple weeks.
It has been my pleasure. Great to cast with you guys and
Anytime
talk about the game.
over the next few weeks, I know you probably will stick with your character you rolled now, but anytime over the next few weeks before we start the next roundtable, you are of course welcome, and we'd love to hear from you if you have the time.
I appreciate it.
It'd be great to hear from you again. Thank you so much for hopping on. Been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Sarah, the reigning champion of the Damashek game. Wonderful. Thank you for hopping on this evening, and great to speak with you.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. And Jess, as always, thank you so much for your efforts. Wonderful to speak with you this evening, and your knowledge you bring to the show. Always much appreciated.
Thanks, Andrew.
And Ray, we might have to get a divorce. You beat me at the newlywed game. I don't know if we can tolerate this anymore. But thank you for coming to Indiana, Ray, and just hanging out today.
At least let's have breakfast in the morning and we'll see how we feel.
Yeah, we need to sleep on it, have some breakfast, and talk about it later. But seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with my kid today. He had a blast hanging out with you, Ray.
It was awesome.
this. Ray was playing the Godzilla video game with Mo for a little while. Like he's like, "What the hell is happening? I don't know how to control this." But it was really cute. See Mo and Ray playing video games together on my couch. It was really funny. Sweet emotions I'm feeling from my good buddy Ray coming over and playing with my kid and letting my kid just maul him to death on my couch. Really fun. He had a really good time hanging out with you today, Ray. So thank you from the bottom of my heart stopping by, coming to my home, just hanging out and being a good guy. And
absolutely, I've looking forward to it ever since I started planning the trip.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And we'll all go get some brunch in the morning, and I'll send you on your way to Southern Indiana. So wonderful to speak with you, Ray. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening to this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the wasteland.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.